Hey, let's start the show.
It's September 20th, 2012. Welcome to This Is Only a Test, the official podcast of Tested.com. I'm Will Smith. Joining me today, Norman Chan.
Hello.
Pile of envelopes over there. Norm, how you doing?
I'm multitasking. I'm talking onto the podcast, but I'm not using a tablet.
So instead of sitting here and just stroking 4 pieces of electronics at once,
which I like to do on my spare
you
time.
do that all the time.
On
Yeah.
my spare time.
While stuffing envelopes.
Hey, you haven't been introduced yet. Quiet you.
Whoa.
Hey, I learned that there are rules.
Hey, Gary.
about
How
this.
you doing? Welcome, Gary, to the podcast.
Hey, Gary.
I
Thanks for coming
introduced
by.
you.
Gary
hello,
Witt is
Will.
here.
Yeah, there you go.
How you doing, Gary?
Don't speak till I'm authorized.
Well, I when I was on the Bombcast a few weeks ago, I learned that that's a thing. I had no idea that was the podcasting rules, that you can't speak until you're introduced to the show. Ryan Davis, I almost got shit thrown at me. It was real bad.
So I want to explain what I'm doing right now.
I got to say, Norm, I know Tested probably doesn't pay that well, but I never thought you'd have to get a second job. It's pretty
Envelope
pretty grim.
stuffer?
Yeah.
I've applied for my own internship.
Next podcast would be telemarketing.
And you know what? I got the job.
Good for you.
I got the job. Will decided to announce on his last jar time.
It's no jars allowed. Thank you very much.
No jars allowed. That we will be.
We do not have
mailing-
jars on that show.
Sure.
It's
They're-
mugs,
they're
mugs for life.
Mason
Mugs.
glassware with handles. That we are mailing our excess supply of old
yeah.
tested stickers.
Oh, the old style logo.
With
That's like a
testicles.
collector's item now.
Yes, vintage. If you mail a self-addressed stamp envelope
Yes.
to our address, which we will announce at the end of the show.
Yeah.
You're gonna make him listen to the whole thing?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's monstrous.
I personally, because Will not have nothing to do with
No. This
actually
was
touching envelopes.
This is a Norman Chan initiative, and I wanted you to enjoy it yourself.
Will does not want to spend his time mailing out. It's appreciating the fans.
I don't want to have to lick all those envelopes. I'll be perfectly honest.
I will lick as many envelopes.
You lick things
as
professionally.
needed to entertain the fans,
Or until we run out of stickers.
or until we run out of stickers. This first batch, I think 22 envelopes came in. Self-addressed stamped envelope, first of all, with postage.
Yep.
You get 3 stickers. All 22 you guys get.
Now
3
that's
stickers.
done. 3
That's
stickers
done.
is over.
First wave, 3 stickers.
Yeah.
Next wave, might get 2 stickers.
What about 1.5? Can we do 1.5?
No, I'm not going to tear stickers in half.
Okay.
You get 2
Probably
stickers. Third wave, you get 1 sticker plus every sticker that you send me.
You get 1 more
You
sticker?
get 1 more sticker.
That's pretty good.
I'm going to
What,
trade
any
stickers.
kind of sticker?
Yeah, I want to see what stickers you can find.
Yeah,
Send me a sticker, you get a sticker.
How does this work for? I don't know how international people get stamps that work in the United States. I don't know about that. There's a forum thread about it. You guys should work it out amongst yourselves.
I have not mailed out an actual envelope in maybe 5 years, so this is very exciting for me. I have not seen postage in maybe 2 years.
Yeah, it's weird doing this. It's like using a rotary dial phone.
I'm
It's
like, there's different
whole,
types of
whole set
envelopes.
of skills you've forgotten.
Hold on.
existed.
You
Some
don't
of
have a
these have-
landlord. How do you pay your rent on your mortgage online?
How do I pay my mortgage?
I guess you do pay your mortgage
of course
online.
online.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we pay our mortgage online.
You do occasionally still have to put things in an envelope.
I haven't put anything in an envelope in a long
No,
time.
I still do it occasionally. There's
Maybe a
no way
FedEx
to avoid
package,
it.
maybe a big parcel. Some of these have 2 stamps on them, and some have 1. I don't know why.
Now you don't think putting 3 stickers is going to make these overweight and make them not get to their intended destination, do you?
These are not heavy stickers.
Okay.
They are great quality stickers, but they are not heavy.
I have one on the back of my car. I quite like the sticker. So yeah, that's what you're doing during the show and talking about technology and science and things. Gary, what are you doing today?
I'm happy to be here as always. Podcasting gets me out of the house.
So
Some fresh air.
So you've been off for several weeks. I mean, you were back a little bit and then off again.
And it's been as much as I'm glad for the reason I've been away working on interesting projects. It sucks that I missed some of the more interesting weeks in tech. I missed the Kindle discussion. There was some good stuff there. Obviously missed the big iPhone 5 reveal last week. I know.
Yes.
Of course, I'd love
Did
to.
you even watch the keynote or get a chance?
I did. I watched it. I wasn't able to watch it when it was going on. But when I eventually got home from work, I was able to I queued it up and I airplayed it in very Apple style. I put it on my MacBook.
Did you turn on the lights?
Airplayed it onto my big screen TV.
Did you invite a bunch of friends over, have their MacBooks out,
Yeah,
live vlog
it was just like being there, and I kvetched all the way through.
So you were working on your episode of The Walking Dead, the one that you wrote.
Yeah.
And this was, I think, your first time through like a game crunch mode situation, right?
Yeah, it's you know, as someone who was a games journalist for many years, it's very different being on the other side, on the outside.
Do they heckle you over there for your games journalism, or is it removed enough?
No, they're very nice people.
Okay.
And I've been a games journalist for many years. It's almost like, you know, people have forgotten. So, no, it was, you know, game crunch is no joke.
And so Telltale, because they release so many games, so many episodes.
Yeah.
Do they do this all the time, or are they a more sane kind of crunch mode? Do you think? Did
you know, I think it's cyclical, like anything else.
Okay.
You know, when I was first there, you know, they weren't yet crunching.
You should
but
get a
towards
knife,
the end,
Norm.
They were very much crunchy.
I'm doing this under the table.
No, it's making a lot of
I
noise.
can hear all the crinkles.
People are going to really
Why don't you do
complain.
that later? Because I feel like we don't have your full attention either.
Well, we never have.
We never do.
Absolutely listening.
You go get the knife off of my desk so that there's no crunkling noise. I don't want people to complain.
So you were watching the keynote.
Actually, we had moved on. But see, that's how much attention you're paying.
Point made.
No, but we should get back to it. We talked about The Walking Dead a lot, but yeah, I watched the keynote, and you know, as we jump into the iPhone 5 and iOS 6 discussion a little bit today, because I'm sure there'll be some. I'll let you know my thoughts.
Okay.
Don't worry, loyal, tested fans.
You have
You'll
thoughts.
get to hear what I think.
You have thought things about
why
iOS.
I have
6.
had thoughts, deep thoughts.
Good.
And I will impart them to you.
So iOS 6 is out. Came
Yes.
out yesterday.
Yeah.
We all, except for Norm, I think, downloaded it.
Yeah,
I
why
have
haven't
it
you
on my
downloaded it
iPad
yet?
because I'm gonna get it no matter what on the iPhone 5.
I know, but don't you want it now to have the
Why?
freshness?
No, I want a phone that has Google Maps and YouTube the way it was meant to be.
I see. Now
viewed.
we're already getting into the controversies.
Well, so let's run down the controversies. There are two huge controversies. I think the lesser one is YouTube, which has been partially ameliorated. Obviously, Google and Apple.
Very partially ameliorated.
Only partially.
Because on the
ameliorated.
iPad, there is no iPad YouTube app.
Well, that was
Not
why I
yet.
said partially, yeah.
But what I discovered is if you use the iPhone YouTube app in iPad on the Retina version and you blow it up full screen, the video that plays in player
Still looks good.
is still the full resolution.
Well, that's good.
Oh, that's interesting. So yeah, there's no Apple provided YouTube app in iOS 6.
Even within the Google provided YouTube app, you cannot AirPlay.
You can only you can through mirroring, but it's not
Only
the
mirroring.
same. Yeah.
But you can AirPlay if you use the browser-based embedded player,
HTML5.
HTML5 player. That will AirPlay just fine.
One of the
Full
things
screen.
I noticed that's weird though is when you use Chrome on the iPad, it tries to give you the Flash player and says you need to download Flash.
Oh my god.
So that was weird. I don't know what's up with
So
that.
this is the reason, or at least one of the reasons why this has been a kind of controversial update so far.
Yeah, I mean it's the first time that Apple's released a version of iOS that is actually not a pretty market improvement in a lot of ways. A lot of the features that they rolled out.
It isn't. I think in a lot of little ways it is, but
It's
there
the
are some
first
really
one that
big.
they took steps back.
There's a couple of very big noticeable changes that people have very negative views on.
Well, and a lot of
I
the
think
stuff,
rightly so.
and a lot of the stuff that they've added is literally just stuff that they're catching up with Windows Phone or
let's
Android
talk
or
about
whatever.
maps first.
So yeah,
Well,
Maps is the big deal.
Why is there no YouTube? First of all,
Brad Shoemaker has already christened this Mapgate. It may already be a gate.
Don't put hyphen gate after things.
Why?
Because it's
But that's part of the American
it's
vernacular.
a terrible cliche.
No, it's great.
It's the laziest kind of naming convention.
Mapgate.
lions and tigers and maps. Oh my.
Yeah, exactly. So YouTube they pulled because Google wants to put ads on the YouTube app on iOS.
Well,
obviously,
we don't know who pulled it.
Right. The Google and Apple relationship is at this point over. The
Clearly-
honeymoon
clearly
is done.
they
The
are-
contract
They are
expired.
at war.
5 years.
It's open war between Apple
Well, no,
and
there's
Google
still
at this
Gmail
point.
when you set up mail and all that. You know, there's still
5 years just happened to be the amount of time that Steve Jobs said the original iPhone, was ahead of all the competition.
interesting.
Well, and he may have been
Dun,
right.
dun, dun. so YouTube's gone. YouTube is a big deal for a lot of people. I think that ultimately that'll work itself out.
But a lot of
The
people,
browser
a lot
will-
of people that aren't, reading up on all the tech stuff are just going to update to iOS 6 and go, wait, where did my YouTube app?
Because your homepage just gets
Yep.
screen gets
Yeah,
realigned.
that app, that little TV set
missing.
that used to be
So
a
I
YouTube
haven't
app, that's
I haven't
just
had the
gone.
YouTube app on my home screen in years.
So, but again, it's a relatively easy
Why-
fix.
why
Go to the
don't
App
you like
Store,
YouTube?
download it, and there's an app that's in some ways better than the old one, in some ways not as good. But Maps is really the real.
the thing that people are going to upgrade to, because the thing is, it's an in-phone upgrade now. You just hit the button on your phone, it updates from iOS 5.
And it was pretty smooth update for me.
Yeah, it was easy.
all over the air.
Did you back up?
Yeah.
When you're so
Well, I
when-
mean, my phone regularly backs up anyway.
No. But so I did the beta. I was using the beta, so I had a different upgrade process. I couldn't do the in-air over-the-air upgrade. When you guys were doing OTA upgrades,
Yes.
did it say, "Hey, do you need to back up your phone first, and then you restore it from the
Nope.
new phone, or it just pops back up
It
just
just
like you
pops
left
back
it?"
up just like
I
you
had
left it,
I
at least
had
on
a
the
very
iPad.
recent backup, so it was fine.
But you don't get the set up a new iPad or set up a new iPhone dialogue at the beginning.
Oh no, there is some.
No, you do.
there's-
You have
there's
to
some.
go through some steps. You have to
Because-
re-input your password, and it's kind of annoying. You have to redo some of those steps.
There are
but-
some features that they need to add steps on, like tying iMessages to multiple email accounts
Right.
and stuff.
Right.
That all needs
Which
to
you
be
could do
reset up.
before.
right.
Right, but there are some front-facing steps before you can actually get back to your home screen.
Okay.
But you don't need to back up.
But yeah, so when I was doing it, I had to back up and then restore a
I
backup
didn't
as it
do
was
that.
a new device. Okay, just good to know. The thing that people are going to hit when they turn this on the first time is that they're going to go to Maps and it's changed and it has a couple of new features of marginal value, one of pretty good value, and then there's a bunch of shit that's just really bad.
So, and
much worse.
again, just for people that may not be following this, basically, Apple, which had been using Google's map
Google's
services
data.
and Maps, and their third-party Maps app as their default inbuilt app,
Mhm.
have now thrown that away and put a lot of resources into building their own mapping service and their own maps.
No,
from
no.
Bought
scratch.
it. They built their own mapping
Map app.
soft app, but
Yes,
it's
but
pulling
they own
data
it.
from
It's all
No, the data's from TomTom and three other companies. Well, so they bought 2 or 3 companies that have mapping expertise that may or may not be used in the app, but the data is specifically from TomTom, like the map data
and the directional data.
and the directional data
right,
and
but
the nav.
all the art and the 3D
That's all-
stuff. That's all Apple.
Yes, it's
And
their
acquisitions.
interpretation of
Okay.
somebody else's data.
And it's hard to know. So the big plus, which they hadn't had before, is turn-by-turn directions.
Yes.
Which, if you have a 4S or above, it doesn't
I
go
think
back
it's a 4S. Yeah,
it doesn't go back as far as the 4. I think I'm right in saying that. You now have turn-by-turn directions, which is something that Android and Google rightly have been able to hold over Apple for a long time.
So
they have
it's
they have
still
it
better.
baked into right.
on Android.
Right, but Apple clearly needed to try to close that gap.
Yeah, so just so people understand the difference between turn by turn and normal nav, on the iPhone previously, it would say, "Here's your directions to get to this place." It's a list of printed directions, like you would get from AAA or something like
But
that.
you would
in
have
the
to
90s.
manually kind of click through the
and
steps.
you had to step through. With turn by turn, it say, when you get close to a transition, it says turn right in 300 meters.
It's like the GPS you
300
have
feet.
in your car already.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the Android one is among the best I've ever used. Standalone,
That's what everyone
set
tells me.
top, whatever. It's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
It tells you, it gives you notifications that you're getting ready to turn at pretty much exactly the right time for you to make a safe transition over.
Right.
It's not annoyingly spammy.
Right.
It's smart about like if you're coming up to the 101 280 intersection in San Francisco, if your route stays on 280, it doesn't notify you that you need to stay on 280. It just assumes you're going to keep going on the same road
Yep.
unless it tells you otherwise.
Yep.
The TomTom data, which is what's in the current apps, the new Apple nav, is very, very talky. So it says your turn's coming up in 2 miles. I don't fucking care about a turn coming up in 2 miles, because if I'm driving in a downtown congested area like San Francisco, it's going to constantly be talking to me, right? It gives you too many prompts for the turns, which seems like it's not really that big a deal until you're in a congested, high density area.
Right.
And it's also, it turns out that the data is not real smart. It's not real smart about the way it picks things up. For example, the example that Anil Dash gave on his blog post, which was linked all over yesterday in the New York Times this morning, basically said, if I'm standing in Manhattan and I search for Lexington Avenue, I more than likely want Lexington Avenue in Manhattan, not Lexington Avenue in Brooklyn. But because B comes before M,
Oh, yeah.
Lexington Avenue in Brooklyn comes up first.
There's a lot of things they're going to have to
yeah,
A
there's
lot of bugs they're gonna have to fix.
There's also big problems with kind of fuzzy logic on searches. So if you search for, so that sandwich place that we used to go to over in North Beach, what was it called?
Giordano Brothers.
Giordano Brothers. So if you search for Giordano Brothers, it comes up. If you search for Giordano Bros, which is what's on the sign, the abbreviation for brothers, no results.
Ooh.
So stuff like that.
Well, look, I mean, and this isn't even the biggest problem. Like, clearly, I mean, this is a brand new product. It's going to take a while for it to catch up to where Android navigation is right now.
I mean, they had a product that was better than this before, though. It's a step back from the previous
problem
generation.
Is they've swapped out their own maps for Google's maps, which are not as good as Google's maps because Google has far superior mapping.
Lots of data,
resources.
and they're good at the fuzzy logic and all that.
And there are some very,
searches.
very significant things that you lose now. So Apple's 3D panorama flyover type mode is very pretty and very gimmicky, and I'm sure it will sell a lot of phones, but it's not really very practical.
No.
I've never used
It's-
Google Earth to look something up.
It is nowhere
it's
near as practical as Street View, which is now gone because that was part of Google's
Right.
service.
Right.
Street View is very useful. You could, this is what I should be seeing when I'm actually
Yeah.
at that location.
Yeah.
It-
How many parking spots are around that street? You know, you can check
So
that
all
out on
that,
Street View.
so that's going to be a problem. And then of course the
The
biggest,
big thing
the
is
big
the
thing
public
of all
transit.
is a lot of people really found very useful the public transit and walking directions that were.
Well, so
in
walking
Google Maps.
directions are still there.
Okay.
Bike directions are gone. Public transit's
Right.
gone.
But public transit was great. It would tell you when the next bus was coming, the routes you would take, exactly where to change stops and
you
things
know,
like that. And
it
that's
was a
now
little-
all gone.
in cities internationally where they rely more on public transit, like in Japan, crazy subway system.
Right.
That was more people use that
Right.
than driving directions.
So the lack of baked-in transit
Well-
is the essence of Mapsgate.
Or when
that is the core.
I think bad directions are bad too. I think giving bad directions when you're used to having good directions is fundamentally really, really
and there's
bad.
a poor argument being made online right now that because Apple has tens of millions, hundreds of millions of iOS users using new maps when iOS 6 comes out or when iPhone 5 comes out, that over time their data will catch up to Google's data
Right.
because of feedback.
Right.
That I don't think is
And I-
valid
and I-
because
and I read a
people
cou-
still on desktop use Google Maps.
I read a couple of opinion pieces from very kind of Apple-centric, Apple-friendly sites saying that what Apple is essentially doing with iOS 6 is really kind of laying a new foundation for the future, and putting the foundation of maps down and things like that is all how they're going to build for the future. But right now, it looks kind of like how Siri looked at first, and maybe still does now, which is like, I understand why you wanted to put this out there, but it's not really ready for prime time yet.
But the difference is Siri is something that is it's not essential. Siri is 100% non-essential.
But Maps is
And-
it's not a luxury, it's a utility.
And Siri is something that can get better over time because the more voices they record, the more data they collect, the better Siri will get.
Well-
that's fine because it's not essential. Like you said, Maps is an absolute utility. When I was in
Yes.
Portland this weekend, and because Apple has not allowed third-party competition with built-in apps,
Right.
there's no fucking Maps alternatives.
Right.
So when I was in Portland this weekend trying to find out a bus schedule, the place that it kept sending me was maps.google.com in the browser, which was a terrible, terrible experience.
Well, so I think the hope is that in the same way that YouTube has popped up a la carte in the App Store, that Google's Maps app will come back in the App Store, and Apple will allow that, and people can just go back to using the maps that they liked the old-fashioned way.
Right now, somebody at Google is sitting there laughing, giggling their asses off.
Well, Danny Sullivan from Search Engine Land reached out to Google, and Google put out a very vague and generic response saying that they want their maps on all devices, but have not committed to releasing a maps.
Oh, it's sitting there. It's ready to go.
Well, who knows? Even if it follows all the App Store guidelines, whether it will actually be approved.
I mean, clearly, I think Apple's maps over time will get better. I'm sure there are people at Apple right now building out the maps every single day. But for right now, at launch, and this is the biggest problem, their big flagship feature for iOS 6 is actually a downgrade in many ways from what was in
It
iOS
looks
5.
pretty,
And that
works bad.
That's a big perception
So
problem
for someone,
Apple.
let's say someone who is not going to get a new Apple product, new iPhone 5, new iPod Touch, has iOS 5 now on either an iPhone 4 or 4S or a 4th gen iPod Touch, upgrade?
Well,
Or don't upgrade?
to answer that question, I've actually seen quite a few people on the forums and on Twitter who have upgraded, asking how to revert back.
You can't unless you saved your hashes beforehand.
Right. So some people are stuck with it.
Hold off. Hold
Here's-
off on updating.
Here's the thing.
Well, if you like, again, there's no blank answer. You got to look at what you use and what features you like. If there are features in iOS 6 that you really feel like you would like, if you're like me, where you rarely take public transport, but you feel like the turn-by-turn directions would be useful. Like for me, it's an upgrade, but for many people who have different priorities and take the bus more
Well,
often and don't
assuming it
use the
takes you to the
turn-by-turn.
right place.
Well, yeah, I'm going to try that. It can't be worse than the Garmin I've got right now. Holy shit.
Well, but the
both
Garmin
will
you have
try to
right now,
kill you.
you put the address that you know where you're going,
Yeah.
and it'll take you there. This, you're
No,
going to
more
search for
often
the
than
name of the
not.
place probably, and it may or may not take you there.
Well,
So
that's
it's different
that's what my
expectations.
Garmin is like.
Okay. And so for me, the bigger question here is this is a huge, high profile piece of software Apple's developed from scratch,
Yeah.
or with help from partners, and acquired some stuff as well. It's not very good. I mean, that's the. It's
think-
very pretty, but it's not very good.
Every iOS update has had some. The feature set has basically people said this is a big leap forward, and this one is kind of like it kind of is in some ways, but not in others. It's more of kind of a push. It's like people are less excited about this one.
I just wonder if it's getting to the point. I mean, I talked to a friend yesterday morning on Twitter who is having trouble figuring out why his VIP list in Mail, which is a great feature, why they weren't syncing between his iPad and his iPhone and his Mac.
Mm-hmm.
And it turned out after a little bit of experimentation, we realized it was because you had to sync contacts over iCloud. Not all of them. You just had to have it turned on because that information was conveyed across that channel.
Right.
And if you didn't have that turned on all the devices, then they wouldn't all see
I think
contacts.
that's a reasonable
VIPs.
expectation.
Well, yes, it's a reasonable expectation, but it's not documented anywhere. And the only way we figured it out was by trial and error.
Well, there's a lot of assumption then of how Apple products should work. Like my mail clients are not synced just because I set up a mail client on.
Well,
my
they
iPad.
explicitly say VIP lists are synced across devices, just like your favorites are.
Well,
So
that
I
should be
mean,
documented then.
the point is, there's just like it's become this big unwieldy OS when it used to be very lean and
You're
stripped
saying
down.
it's more like a computer.
It is more like a computer, but they're still treating it like it's a kind of dumber device, and you can only do that for so long. Right now, there needs to be a best practices guide to setting up iOS that isn't, hey, just only use Apple services, because people use Gmail and Yahoo Mail and corporate email and all that. And if you don't know what you're doing when you set that stuff up right, it's not gonna work right.
I like
And
to
it's-
I like to think
documentation?
that, so far as the maps are concerned, that Apple will be looking at the response to this and will move quickly to do something about it.
But-
Because I feel like they have to.
They've been really bad about updating core apps mid-cycle.
There's no point putting a ton of resources into trying to build a new Maps app that will put you on a level footing with Google if in fact it's for the time being still inferior and people are just complaining about it.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, typically they haven't updated that kind of app aside from point releases,
Well, like not
and a lot of it can happen on the server side. In fairness,
But Maps is exactly the kind of app that has to evolve, right?
well, the data will change on the back end, and the search stuff can change. But I doubt that they'll push updates to the Maps app short of a point release for iOS.
I think you will see. I think you will see at some point in the near future a big update that has the transit stuff because too many people are complaining about it for them not to.
Well, no,
respond.
their response to the transit stuff is, hey, go build apps that do this. Yeah.
Today it is. I think it will change.
You think?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, here's my macro feeling on iOS 6 is that the reason I say it's kind of a mixed bag is
Wow.
I know you don't like
It's a
that.
mixed bag. Does it feel good in your hand, Gary?
Is that
Is it sexy?
is that in many it's
Cradle
actually
it.
it's actually
Cradle
a
that
good
mixed
it's actually a good update in all the little minor teeny tiny little granular things that add up to a better experience.
You're talking about like do not disturb,
like
and
do
the
not
install
disturb,
password
like
requirement.
not needing to type in your password to update an app. Simple things like the Bluetooth switch being right on the front page of settings, not having to drill down like
Oh,
three
that's
menus
nice.
to get
and
to it.
small little delightful things. You notice when you pull down to refresh email,
Oh,
you get a little
the
animated
little
like
chewing
whoop.
gum. The little chewing
Yeah,
gum
as,
snap.
as I was driving my car off of the pier this morning, I was really
Yeah.
glad that the mail icon was
nice
blinky.
little fit and finish things like that. Also, like really cool things like, let's say for example, there's a link to an app store in a email.
And just to be clear, Bluetooth still isn't a toggle. It's just a one. You go one
should-
menu deep
It
instead
should be.
of.
It should be a toggle.
should
I
be
don't
a
know
toggle.
why it isn't. But like in the old days, as in the day before yesterday,
Yeah, 2 days ago. You mean?
you would, let's say that I sent you an email or you saw an email or a website with a link to the App Store. You would click on the link and it would dump you out of Mail or Safari and into the App Store. Now it actually just throws up a little pop-up where you can install the app right there without ever leaving the app. So lots of little things like that. But the big things like Maps and to a lesser extent Passbook, because a bunch of people are complaining. I think people expected that like, they would get Passbook and it would just instantly be populated with like free baseball tickets and coupons and airline.
Wait, what? It's not.
No, it's not. It's empty.
I was going to go to the ball game today.
People are like, oh, why isn't it working? Why isn't Passbook working right away? Because you have to populate it with things.
You have to set it up with other apps.
Yes. other apps, and and Passbook is one of those things that while I think it's a great feature and will be great going forward, it's entirely reliant on third-party support. And right now, there's only a handful of places that are supporting it. You go to the App Store and it shows you the apps that you can download that will support it. I already have a Target coupon for
free peanut butter.
Free peanut butter Snickers.
Okay.
And there will be other things.
How are those, by the way?
Oh, they're wonderful.
I've not had one before.
Oh, have you tried Twix ice cream bars?
Yes, they're lovely.
They're the best.
I don't know about the best. The ice cream's kind of bad.
Have you tried Butterfingers ice cream?
No.
The best thing
Actual
are those
Butterfingers
are the
ice cream?
big ice cream Reese's peanut butter cups. Those things
like
are
those.
phenomenal. Anyway, I digress.
So there are a couple of other big features that are pretty good.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the main thing is that I like about iOS right now.
Photo stream?
Photo stream.
Shared
photo
streams.
streams.
Shared
Thank
photo
you.
streams is a very nice feature.
Sorry, I didn't sleep very much last night. That stuff works really well. They updated Mac OS yesterday, so that you can share out shared photo
Yes.
streams to Aperture and iPhoto now.
Yes.
I
iCloud
assume-
on PC also is updated.
Oh, it does now,
So
okay.
you can see
Um,
shared photo streams on your from my computer and Explorer.
Facebook
good.
integration at the OS level is also very nice.
Yeah, I kind of take it or leave that, but I understand. I
A
mean,
lot
I
of people,
understand.
a lot
So
of
the
people
bigger
still
thing,
like Facebook.
You're talking about the share plate that pops up now when you say share to, and in addition
and
to
also
Twitter,
from Notification Center, there's a one button tap to post to Facebook. I just as there is.
Well, no,
one
I mean,
button
I'm
tap
saying
to tweet.
Facebook is a part of this, but in more places where we're either in a photo or email, and you say send to instead of
Yes.
send to Safari, you have send
Yes.
to. You have all these icons,
9 things.
Yes.
9 things: to printer, to
Yes.
email, to
Yes.
camera roll. That is great.
Which is great because even though Facebook rebuilt its app, it's not very good. So it's another way to post to Facebook without having to deal with their shitty app.
Right. I also like the phone response stuff.
Yes.
Like that stuff's fantastic. I used it all weekend. Actually, it was
Greatly
quite
improved
good.
performance in Safari, it seems like, as well, which is very nice.
I've been using Chrome for so long it doesn't
It's
matter.
the same, but you are
same
going to get those
renderer,
benefits because
yeah.
you're going to get the render update.
And then the iMessage. So this is another example of them not fixing something that would have been dead simple to increment.
What's this now?
The iMessage thing. So
So,
the,
yeah,
the
finally they've done
traditional
that. And it works. We
iMessage
tested
problem.
it. It worked.
Yeah. So previously you could associate email addresses with any iMessage device, phone, Mac,
Yep.
iPad, whatever. You could only have the phone number attached to your phone.
Right.
So if for example, this would happen to us all the time because
Yes.
I would always send a message to your
Yes.
iPhone, you would send to my iPhone,
Yes.
and then we'd be on the iPad or Mac or whatever.
Right.
They finally updated that. There's no reason that couldn't have been an update that happened 3 weeks after iMessage came out.
Yeah, they should have done it sooner, but now they've done it, it's good. So if you send a text or an iMessage to my phone number and I'm sitting at my Mac, I will see it on my Mac or my iPad or whatever, which is nice. That's good.
It's good.
So for now on, there's no reason to send messages to anything other than the phone number.
Yeah, so now I have to
It'll
go back and
it'll-
change all those address book entries again.
It'll go to all devices.
And of course, with Facebook integration, you can pull in contacts and birthdays and calendar stuff from Facebook into your
Yep.
calendar.
Yep.
Yeah, so that stuff's good too.
Siri obviously does extra things now, which is nice.
Still not very good. It's
I
better.
use it. I'm using it more these days.
You can tweet and Facebook from Siri now.
I think Siri
Yeah.
just needs to be faster. It being offloaded. I think some of the stuff, because a lot of
I think that's an AT&T problem. It's real good when I'm on Wi-Fi.
No, I'm saying that Apple needs to, like, for example, on Google's voice dictation, they have offline dictation. I think it would be smart with all this processing power in these new devices, on the Apple devices, to have Siri offload some of that stuff locally, so you're not waiting on a poor, whether it's a poor connection or whether it's just processing, so that it's smart enough to know if there's enough of a delay for at least dictation, it'll go local.
Oh, I want to talk about the other thing that I don't like. And I think a lot of people don't like it, is the new look redesign organization of the App Store
Yeah,
and
I
iTunes
was
Store
gonna
is
bring that up.
not good.
And it's
Can I
only
see
on
your phone for a
iOS
sec,
6.
Gary?
You want what?
Can I see your phone for a sec?
Just the same as your phone.
No, I want to see. I noticed something about the back of my phone. Weird.
Stuffs.
No, there's a hood over my camera on my phone. Look at the camera hole. The new App Store is bad. The new App Store does not look
what's
good.
going on there?
What is what? What
That
is
seems to
going
be
on?
obscuring your
Look
lens.
at that. Yeah, it's obscuring my lens a little bit. That's weird.
Uh-oh. Maybe it's busted.
You have a broken camera.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Isn't that the shutter that's broken?
No, that's not the
Some kind of
shutter.
aperture or
Is not
something.
actually.
But there's
there's
some
no
kind
shutter,
of
it's
thing over
electronic.
it that's broken.
Oh no, you have something broken. On
Cool.
your
To the Apple Store. I'll go tomorrow morning. Shouldn't be a problem, right?
Yeah.
The App Store, I haven't used it enough to really say whether I don't like it or not. My initial reaction is that change is scary and bad.
Well, I gotta say, I think we are beginning to see, in some small ways, like the reorganization of the App Store, the beginning of stuff starting to leak through. That in the old days, Steve Jobs would have said, "I give that a D and make them redo it."
You can't say that because he was really a big fan of the skeuomorphic calendar and a bunch of the other stuff.
This isn't skeuomorphic though. This is
just bad.
This is a new kind of organization, which I don't think is as simple and clean as intuitive as the old organization.
Use it. They designed it, but no one used it.
Yeah. It's difficult to explain, but if you have iOS 6, go to the App Store, iTunes Store, look at what they do, and I don't like it.
Well, it's just exposing a ton more stuff on the homepage.
It's a lot more visual, but it isn't like the old days. You would, if you wanted to see like the top paid apps or top free apps, you would just scroll down a chart of them. Now it's organized into these little boxes of 5 that you have to kind of scroll sideways across the screen to see, and it's just not as intuitive or simple as it used to be.
And then this
discover new app.
This stuff's
like
really
change
annoying
for change's
too.
sake.
Like the thing.
Described?
So I have I just opened the App Store on this phone first time since I updated it.
Yeah.
And I have it says, hey, Apple has some apps too. Do you want to download these awesome apps?
Yeah.
It's iBooks, iTunes U, Podcast, Find My Friends, and Find My iPhone. All of those apps are on the phone already.
Yeah, so it should
So
know
why
that
am I
and
fucking
not
seeing
suggest
that?
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's bad as well. Apple's not perfect.
They used
They
to be.
get things
They
wrong.
used to be.
They do things badly sometimes, and they've done some bad things here.
Yeah, I don't think the homepage design is particularly bad. The problem I have is when you get down into the actual app view, it's less stuff is exposed, and it's harder to find like reviews
What do you think,
and what's new
Will?
and all that
Time
stuff.
for Android? Time to switch? We can go over there?
You know, I really like the
get
Joe.
on
You were,
920.
you were holding
I
that
think you should do it.
HTC
I was holding the
One,
HTC One X earlier, and
and you're like,
I
oh, I
quite
can see
liked
myself switching to
You know
Android.
what?
I quite liked it.
If you switch, no camping tonight.
So let's talk
Well,
about
no camping ever.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Just walk into a store on day one.
No force.
I remember.
that GS3.
I remember when the Droid Razor came out, and I was in LA at the time, and I drove, and I was like, oh, there was something I needed from a Verizon store, and I thought I'll go in the morning. I was driving home in the evening, and there was all this signage out saying the Droid Razor big launch day tomorrow.
Line up early.
Line up early, and I thought, oh no, I'm never going to get in there. I thought I'll go by anyway, just in case. Go by. Nothing.
So I did the same thing
I
when
walked straight in.
when the Motorola Zoom came out, the first Android tablet. I got up at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
first Android honeycomb tablet.
The first real Android tablet.
Okay.
I'm comfortable saying that.
This is a serious benefit of going Android. You
Androidness.
never have. There's no
force
You never have
scarcity.
to. You never have to worry about
not-
getting the
not
phone. Is it
true.
hard to get? Like
Sometimes.
on day one, sometimes like the Galaxy S3 on day one
Was that really hard to get?
Galaxy S3 was hard to get
Was
for a few
anyone
weeks.
standing in line for the Galaxy S3?
Maybe not.
No, you would just walk in a store and get
I
one.
saw an ad about this once,
Come on.
but I don't want to talk about that. Let's
Do you want to talk about the ad?
let's talk about plans for tomorrow.
Well, hold on.
first.
Let's talk
Do we
about.
want to talk about plans or the ad?
We should talk about we should talk about the phone real quick because I didn't get to chime in on the phone last week.
The actual
okay.
phone.
are you excited? Are you going to buy
There is
one?
new information now.
I gotta
You've
tell
got a
you,
whole week.
this may change when I get it in my hand, as it often
Oh
does.
my goodness.
But for right now, much like iOS 6, this is the iPhone update that have been least excited about.
you are
since the
so
beginning.
wrong, Gary.
Why am I wrong?
You are wrong because it is so light.
Oh boy.
And I'm telling you, when I get it in my hand, I'll be like, oh, now I get it. But for right now, I'm not excited.
They say it's like a jewel.
They must put something on the outside of it for you. See, I'm the only reason I'm switching is because I want to move to Verizon. Like I would not
That
buy
is
this
the
phone
only-
otherwise.
I'm excited.
Fu-
About,
what a fucking liar.
Here's what I'm excited
You could pay
about.
you're paying the cancel fee
No,
anyway.
it costs me less to cancel than it does to get a phone from AT&T.
You are going to love being on Verizon. It was the best thing I ever did. You are a chump for staying with AT&T.
Let's
I will
talk
say
about the
that
phone.
now. Okay.
Let's talk about the actual
All
phone.
right. Here's what I'm not excited about. But I'm willing to believe that I will be excited about because this happens a lot of times.
And let's talk about outside of software because on the 4S
This is
you
a
get
cycle that
LS6.
happens every year. Apple announces the new phones. Everyone on the internet goes, "Oh, boring, underwhelming, disappointing. They didn't do anything."
Didn't used to
then
happen,
people
actually.
get the phone and they go, "Oh, actually, it's really great." And I think that will happen here.
I
I'm very
don't think
excited
anyone
about,
said that
I'm very
about the
excited
4S.
about the thinness and lightness. Of
I
it.
actually think that Apple kind of because they do a good job with industrial design in a way that really no one else is
and
doing
apparently
right
the
now.
build quality on this one is by far the
You
best
read the
I've ever
Gruber
done.
post about the micron tolerances
Yes,
and all that
all
stuff.
very, all very good.
So
29 megapixel
I'm not,
cameras.
I'm not particularly
Those
excited
chamfers.
about this taller screen. I don't really get it.
more icons, bro.
I guess, but I don't know. And I don't necessarily buy
It's good that we're
Apple's
recording this.
Kool-Aid about how a wider screen is bad because I was just using that HT1X and it seemed fine to me. It's just when they get really big that it gets silly.
Yeah.
But
Nobody needs a 5.5-inch phone.
Yeah, that's dumb.
The thing I think is I think Apple's kind of doing a disservice by not letting people get hands-on time with these before
So
before
like
you
when
can
you're
purchase
in
it.
line, when you're waiting in
Well-
line, you have to pick your SKU, your
And here's
color,
the,
your
well, and
the-
I'm hoping they come
the
out with them like they
size
sometimes
and-
do, because I got to tell you, for me, I thought it was going to be an easy choice between black and white this year, and now I'm kind of starting to vacillate again. But you've got to make the choice before you see them.
You can always
when you
return
still-
it and get another one.
I could do that.
Take it back 10 days.
That's
You're
the good
fine.
thing about. Oh God, do you want to talk about the camping? This is
No, let's
depressing.
save that for what we're testing.
Let's finish the iPhone.
Let's
chat
save
real quick.
let's save the camping talk, which makes us both seem super sad for after we've talked about the rest of the news.
So
Sad.
I'm excited about LTE.
Yeah.
It'll be nice to have that. Although even that's not a huge step up because I have a MiFi,
Uh-huh.
and that usually feeds my phone when I'm out anyway. But it'll be
Really?
nice.
Do you have your MiFi on all the time in your back
I
pocket?
I have it.
carry my
I
MiFi
have it
on.
on in the car.
I'm not checking my email.
It'll
in the
be
car.
it'll be very
Yes,
nice
you
to
are.
have. And I am going to be looking into the economics of getting rid of the MiFi and just paying extra for some kind of extra data tethering plan and for the fun, and just have that be the device that feeds my laptop and my iPad when I'm on.
The
You're
problem with
right.
doing that is the battery on the phone.
You're right.
Will,
The most
will
contentious
Yeah,
just
but
thing-
most of the
hit.
time I'm tethering, it's plugged in
That's fair
anyway.
enough.
The most contentious thing for the Apple Watchers is why they went with a 4-inch screen this time. Why they decided to do it their own way and to give in to this idea that you don't need you need a bigger screen to satisfy
Yeah,
customers.
I felt like they had to respond to the idea of everyone saying, "Oh, well, people want bigger screens."
because you could imagine with their new manufacturing, and you can have all the same improvements of having the display closer to the glass, thinner glass, using the aluminum back, and having an even lighter and smaller phone, but
Yes.
keeping that 3.5-inch screen.
Yeah.
Something the size of the new iPod Touch 5th gen, super thin, and make that super amazing. Why do you need to go push the 4 inches and have a 16:9?
But I do like the fact that they didn't just concede to, okay, here's a jumbo Android side screen.
Sure,
they made
sure.
it bigger
They made
in their own
way.
In their own way.
And it was a perfect compromise because you use the same pixel density. They had it 4 inches, and you have the 16:9. It just
But
coincidentally
it just looks
happened.
kind of odd to me. Don't you think it just looks like a
So the
stretch?
people
it
who
just
have
looks
reviewed it
stretched out in
and
a
have
weird
tested
way.
it so far
Yeah.
said that it feels still like an iPhone because even though they're stretching out the screen, the amount of bezel space on the top and bottom is relatively the same.
Mm-hmm.
What's different though is that when people touch, when you're looking at your screen, the way you hold it and you palm the corner of your screen to the
Mm-hmm.
bottom, the phone to the bottom of your hand, is going to be different because you're going to have to actually scooch the phone a little further
Yeah, because
down.
you can't
It's
reach
more
all the
one
way
of
to the
these
top
numbers.
row.
Yes, because on those apps that have the black bars, it's going to be shifted up. They're not going to be. It's not like the other.
It's not centered?
It's not. It is centered, so that
But
the
it's still
phone,
up.
You have to shift the whole phone up,
Right.
So that relative to where your thumb was.
So Apple's argument about, well, we wanted to keep it narrow because you.
Oh no, that's all valid.
That's good,
I'm
but
saying,
but it doesn't address the fact that your thumb still isn't long enough to get all the way to the top to the bottom of the screen.
whether your thumb
What's that
gets
popping
is-
noise?
I don't know. That's like plastic in the back. Whether or not your thumb is long enough is irrelevant for those apps that aren't updated yet and may not never be updated. So a lot of the apps,
Sparrow,
you'll get
for
the,
example.
you'll get the black bars on the top
Right.
and bottom. And if I'm holding, for example, my phone on the very bottom, how I'm used to holding it,
Right.
I know I expect to drag down notification bar or to refresh where my thumb normally is.
Yeah.
That's going to be shifted up because of the black bars on the new phone.
Right.
So you'll have to make that adjustment.
Right.
Also,
but the majority of the time, though, when you're using a phone one-handed, it's for stuff that's at the bottom of the screen, like a keyboard or music controls or
now
something
you
like
can
that.
get that black bar on the bottom.
Right.
But they did address some things, so it's not framed the same way like as a phone app on the iPad. So,
Right.
for example, when an email comes in and you have notification that flip down notification, it won't actually be. It'll be in that black space. It won't cover
uses
part
the
of the
dead
app.
space.
It'll use the dead space. The keyboard will be full. Use the full widescreen.
Yeah.
When it pops up from the bottom. So they've addressed little things.
I'm
like
just
that.
not. This is not a feature that I'm super excited about.
We will not know
mean,
until apps
and
actually take
again,
advantage of it.
yes.
Here's the-
CNN is supposedly an app that actually does that.
The thing,
Yeah.
there's a couple of games that are out that are updated already.
And of
to
course,
work
all the
on it.
Apple apps will do it.
The thing. This is one of those cases where Apple's notorious secrecy has probably fucked them over. Because
Talking about for developers.
for developers, yeah, had they come out in June and said, "Hey, there's going to be a new resolution," there'd be literally thousands and thousands of apps that had
It's
come
no
out since
different
then
than,
that
no
are
different than
updated.
Retina. Third-party apps. It took a while. For
Well,
them to
but on
catch
the
up, they
map
got there.
situation, had they said, "Hey, we're not going to have transit maps 6 months ago,"
Then there would have been
then
a
there
whole
would be a
suite
whole
of
shitload of transit
options.
apps out now.
Right. That's very good.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really good.
Yeah,
Who's
I
that
like
from?
that.
This is from Greg. Greg
Paint a word picture, Norm.
Greg in his self-addressed stamped envelope, in which he sent 2 37-cent stickers, stamps, and a 33-cent stamp. So he paid about $1
Give him an extra sticker, Norm.
for I'll give him as many stickers as I want.
That's impressive work
a
right there.
buck of stamps.
So
He
you're not gonna give
also
him an extra
printed
sticker?
out a penguin and also an old testicles
That's pretty
logo cropped from the old website.
Oh,
printed on the
just to
envelope.
jump back a little bit, because for some reason I thought this
That's
was
the podcast logo.
I thought this was going to be one of those iPhone 5 features that you're artificially kind of limiting to 5, but it's actually an iOS 6.
Yeah,
it's the panorama.
only for
have you
4S.
have you tried that yet?
Yeah, we have. It's fine.
I don't know if I'll ever use it, but
The problem is that when you're framing a photo normally, like indoors, your exposure setting is locked. So, for example, like in this room, we have skylights. So when you're shooting a picture here, the exposure setting, the metering for how bright the image should be is locked for that one frame. When you're shooting a panorama, the exposure setting is fixed. So if it's dark in one side of the room and bright in another side of the room, one side gets blown out or one side gets really dark. So the panoramas don't look even all the way across. This is less of a problem if you're outdoors and it's same lighting. The sun is just in the sky, and
Are you
you're
doing
a big
it right
landscape
now?
photo. It is smart that they did it vertically, so you have the portrait position, so you get a taller image
right.
than otherwise. That's how you get that 28 megapixel image, and the guiding is nice, but it's not something that you couldn't have found in other panorama app.
Right.
before.
Again, it's a little gimmicky.
I'm rotating
What
right
are you
now.
doing?
Yeah,
Okay, it
and-
seems to be done.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
It's just got at the corner of a beard.
I think this you're falling in that same there's nothing new about it that all the writers that haven't used it have said, but the people that reviewed it, most of them said that the thinness, the lightness, and the
Yes.
durability
No doubt.
is
also
the,
the
big selling
people
point.
who reviewed
Now,
it are
what
the
are
ones
the-
that Apple knows they're going to get the best reviews.
So-
out of. Just be perfectly
absolutely.
clear.
Bigger
Yeah.
screen, LTE. What are the other flagship
That's
features?
pretty
that we
much
made?
it.
That's pretty much it, right?
I mean,
and thinner and
the
light.
aluminum back. Aluminum back, I think, is a big deal. I still think the
Yeah,
glass
and-
back is one of the
And
stupidest
for
things
people
they've
that
ever
really
done.
like to stare at their phones and go, "Oh, it's so nice," it seems like they've done a good job there as well.
Also, last year we upgraded to the 4S because on two things: one, Siri, and two, the camera. The speed was kind of an afterthought.
I kind of wish I'd skipped the 4S. Now.
I wish I skipped the 4S as well. The camera low light is better if that's something that matters to people.
And I did see some comparison shots, and the low light performance on the camera does seem much better, which is very good.
I think the thing that people need to really think about is that we're reaching a period of time where incremental updates are the new future for phones.
And this is the argument I've made. Like people, one of the reasons why people complain about Apple when they announce a new phone is they expect them to reinvent the wheel every single time. And the fact that Apple did that already. They disrupted everything and reinvented the smartphone with the first one. And ever since then, they've just iterated and made it a little bit better. That's the business they're in there, just making it a little bit better each time.
Refinement.
Yeah.
I think the reason people expect something big from them is that to a lot of people, the things that the iPhone does literally are magic. Like if you don't understand how technology works, the fact that you have this thing that tells you when you're leaving the house that you need to get milk is a magical thing.
Yes.
And because they don't understand, we've reached a point where I mean, I'm sure there's some other amazing feature coming next year that nobody's ever thought of before. But for the most part, it's incremental updates and things that can be enhanced by software. And, we have 17 different kinds of input on this device. And now it's just a matter of figuring out interesting new things to do with that.
Yeah. Well, software does become the gating factor because iOS support, you're only going to get like 3 devices back. So,
Well, 4. It goes back to the 3GS.
except 3GS doesn't get all the functionality.
Well, neither does the 4, and neither does the 4. Well, I guess the 4S gets everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that the 4S marks the first of the modern of the actual feature complete hardware platform for them,
Right.
and I think that what we see going forward will be incremental advancements.
Until
to
that NFC comes, can't wait to tap the phone to share playlists.
So do you want to talk about the ad?
Well, I guess so. I guess we should hit pre-orders. They sold 2 million phones on the pre-order day, which
Yeah.
I don't know how that's possible because nobody could log into the fucking website.
I logged in at 12:01, no problem.
But to establish
You
this
did it on
is
the phone, though.
But the
Oh
pre-order
no, I
num-
did it online.
the pre-order
on the
numbers are
website.
much larger than any iPhone before. right?
Here was a
I
trick.
have no idea.
And after
Don't
the
care.
fact, oh, all right,
No,
because you have to wait in line.
Yeah.
Well, I
couldn't change carriers.
I fucked up badly because I used to stand in line for the iPhone. I did that for the first 2 or 3, and then I wised up, and I thought, well, I'll just pre-order it when it comes out. And you got to stay up late to do it. And the last time, because of the pre-order system was crushed, I was up until like 3 a.m. until my order finally got through. And so I thought,
That
well,
was
this
a fun
time,
night.
when you got a baby, staying up until midnight ain't what it used to be. Let me tell you. So I didn't really want to stay up until midnight, especially thinking, well, it's not really gonna be midnight. It's gonna be 3 a.m. like it was last
What time
time.
are you gonna get in line tonight, Gary?
We'll get to that.
What time are you gonna get in line? You're sending Gary to scout.
Well,
Yeah, you can't really mock me
I
for
know.
something which you are also doing.
I'm doing it for work.
So am I.
Really?
Yeah, the
Okay,
phone,
I
the
guess
phone
so.
is a
Okay,
work
okay,
tool
fair
for
enough.
me.
Fair enough.
I use it for work.
It's a little different.
I
but
can.
okay.
It's critical that I have this taller screen.
Okay,
So
you
that
need
I
an
can
extra row of
continue to
icons.
be as good a screenwriter as I
Fair
can be.
enough. Perfect.
Um,
I can't argue with that logic.
It's a business expense, wholly
People are going to
legitimate.
eat us alive this
So
week.
look, I thought, okay, well, I'll go to bed like I usually do, and I'll wake up when the baby wakes me up at around 4 o'clock in the morning, because that's my life now. And I thought, okay, well then I'll have the phone by the side of my bed with the Apple Store there, and I'll just by that point the pre-order
So
machine.
you're
will
saying
start
you'll
to
order
open
the
up
phone and then feed the kid?
and just go straight back to bed,
Yeah.
without even getting out of bed. In fact, but I wake up at 4 a.m., turn on the App Store, the Apple Store on my phone. Your phone can now ship in 3 weeks. I'm like, what? And it turns out that, in fact, they did kind of have their shit together this time, and Norm was able to get his order in at 12:01. And by
I was
4
on
a.m.,
at 12:01
the
and there was
initial
fuck
day one
all.
shipping had already been exhausted.
So in the process for me of trying to do the set up a new account on Verizon,
Yeah.
and the amount of time it took, it went from, hey, go nuts, ships on whatever Friday,
Yeah.
to you're fucked 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It took 3 hours.
That
It
window-
took 30,
that
no, it took way less than that. It took an hour. It was done by 1 a.m.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I mean, I know this happens every year, but I really, because in many ways, to a lot of people, seeing the bigger screen in the LTE, that's a huge update for a lot of people. It's also because I think people usually skip the S and wait for the next big tick.
They want big giant
The
lines.
talk.
For a lot of people, are going to be out of contract or able to get subsidized pricing. The lines on this one, and we'll know in 24 hours, the lines on this one are going to be bigger and nuttier. And when Apple eventually, and AT&T and those guys all next week do their press releases, the numbers are going to be bigger than any we've ever seen. That's my prediction.
The 4 sold 600,000 first day.
Yeah.
Pre-orders and to lines.
Pre-orders. in
Okay.
First 24 hours, 600,000. That was without Verizon.
Right.
And the 4S did 1 million.
Yeah.
And this one did 2 million.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's huge.
I think that they're very specifically controlling pre-order numbers, and they want to have a big ass line for this because they want
and
this
there will
to
be
an
big
event.
ass lines. So I fucked up, and because I
Not your fault.
because I didn't want to stay up until midnight. Now I'm going to have to lose a lot more.
So
sleep.
the worst part of that is if you did stay up until midnight and went through the whole process and then still end up waiting in line.
Yeah.
Sucks.
But in some ways,
Sucks.
getting it from the store is better because you can actually, if there's a problem with the phone,
Don't stop justifying.
because you
Stop
can, if you need to
justifying.
return it, you can just return it to the store. When you order online, you cannot do that. You have to mail it.
Honestly, I'd
Really?
rather have
Yep.
one bad
You
night.
cannot go to the
No.
store and
not
get
if you,
support
not if you order
buy
it
it online.
No, you can't.
you can't return it.
exchange it or return it if you
You
buy
can't
it online.
exchange it.
No,
Not at the store.
no. So if you want white, you have to send
I
it
don't
back
want
and
white.
not have a phone for 2 weeks.
Yes.
Black.
I'd rather have one bad night than a year of shitty service. Is the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
So I'm very glad you're switching to Verizon.
it validates your choice. It's a cognitive.
It was so
dissonance
funny
thing.
at
You guys
PAX.
validate each other.
It was so funny at PAX
High
when all the
fives.
people that I was having lunch with that were on AT&T couldn't even send a tweet. And I said, well, log on to my Verizon MiFi. And suddenly it was like cavemen seeing fire for the first time. They were like, what is this magic? I now have a connection.
So something even bigger, if that's possible, than the iPhone happened this week too.
What?
MakerBot announced their new replicator.
Gary's like,
Gary's
Can-
furrowed brow.
can it make me an iPhone?
It'll make you an iPhone case.
To make me
Make
a
me a-
small plastic object.
Yes, awesome small plastic objects.
MakerBot Industries, our friends in New York,
Brooklyn.
in Brooklyn, which part of New York.
It is part of New York.
They announced they had a big press conference yesterday, and they announced 2 new MakerBots,
I
and
have MakerBot envy.
the MakerBot replicator that we got a few months ago is now no longer for sale.
No, they're running out of stock.
Running out of stock. No, they're not making any more of those. This new MakerBot is the first MakerBot, 4th generation, not made out of wood.
Yeah, so
Made
it's
with
a steel frame. So, I mean, one of the big knocks against the current replicator is that the wood nut slot and M3 nut frame is a little bit, I don't want to say jiggly, but it's not rigid. And you kind of want, when you're dealing with higher levels of precision, rigidity becomes very important.
Mm-hmm.
So the new
Tighten
MakerBot
those nut slots.
you can only tighten them so far because the wood starts to cave in. The new replicator is a steel frame. It's a much higher resolution nozzle, 100 microns, I believe.
Which is about 2 times the fineness of the current nozzle, the extruder,
Something like that. So
per layer.
it's going to you'll be able to make layer thicknesses that are about 1/10 the thickness of the existing one. assuming it works the same way as the existing printer does. The big change, though, is the switch in plastic, in recommended plastic. All the MakerBots up until this point have been recommended for use with ABS plastic, which is petroleum-based. It shrinks a fair amount when it cools. So when it comes out of the nozzle, it's expanded. As it cools from 200 C to 100 Celsius, it shrinks a fair amount, which causes warping, and it makes the print pop off of the platform and all sorts of other stuff. So it's kind of a problem. A lot of the stuff that you do to your MakerBots, like put hoods over them and stuff like that, are to counteract that warping effect. So the new one does PLA plastic, which I think is cornstarch based or something like that.
And it's one extruder only.
Single extruder for the model that they're selling that ships in 4 weeks. The
2X.
The 2X, which ships early next year, has 2 dual extruders.
And will also be ABS.
PLA.
No, ABS. That
one's ABS and PLA?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, it's super, super exciting. They've opened a retail store in Brooklyn so you can go and check this out in person, see the kind of stuff you can print.
It looks like a legitimate, I thought the replicator looked real legit as a thing you could buy, but this one, it no
looks
longer like a crazy tool hobbyist kit.
Well, it looks like it's something that costs $35,000, like the other 3D printers. I mean, they're very clearly going after the real 3D. I air quoted real there. The real 3D printer market, rather than the hobbyists. The other big change is makerware. So if you've ever printed with a MakerBot or any other homegrown 3D printer, the software is hard. It's challenging. Replicator G, while it has seen massive advancement over the last 2 years since we started 3D printing, is a hard to use piece of software. And what Replicator G does is takes a 3D model and slices it. So it basically it takes a model and then looks at the model and says, okay, to make this thing into a physical object, you move the print head in this specific kind of pattern, and this is how much plastic to poop out at any given time, and then go up a layer and do it again, right? Makerware lets you drop multiple models onto a platform, which is impossible to do in Replicator G. Scale things independently or together, kind of arrange things for optimal use. And I downloaded it. I'm going to try it out on this week's, or actually probably next week's
and
mystery
it works
object.
on the existing replicator.
Works on the existing replicators, my understanding. So and this is software they developed in-house. MakerBot hired a bunch of developers over the last couple of years, and those guys are all have been working on this apparently for quite a while.
Awesome. Can't wait to see it.
So yeah, so that's Replicator 2. I'm super excited. I saw Bree at this thing I was at this weekend, and he was super coy about what they were going to roll out. So excited to see it. And we're going to be in New York next week. We're going to go see him. So we'll have more video, hopefully with the MakerBot Replicator 2 in action very soon. Wal-Mart isn't selling Kindles anymore.
Do they have their own ebook reader?
No, I think they realized that maybe Amazon is competition for them.
Oh.
And perhaps it's not a wise idea to sell the competitors' products in the store.
Yeah, every Kindle they sell basically cuts off their future book sales.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean,
sense.
I'm surprised Best Buy sells Kindles too, frankly.
Well, I mean, I think
Buy
at
doesn't
this
sell
point,
books.
Best Buy, fuck it. It's like Children of Men over
People
at
want to
Best
buy this?
Like, will the last person to die please turn off the lights? It's over.
Jesus Christ, that's
It's over
grim.
for Best Buy. Come on. It's finished.
When was the last time you went to a Best Buy?
I don't even remember. And when I did, I do what people do now, which is just to check out products I'm going to buy online.
Oh my god! Well, I needed like a cable. I needed a micro HDMI
Every
cable.
now and again, you need something that like you can't wait 48 hours for. You got to go. You'll go and get it, like
Yeah.
Radio Shack or Best Buy or whatever. But nah. Remember when Circuit City and Good Guys, one of those guys died, and they were just empty stores? That's Best Buys. There's going to be huge, big blue and yellow mausoleums all over America.
What
and
could we
probably
use?
Probably within 12 months.
So like those old Circuit Cities are now like sporting goods stores.
Or like Big Lots?
This is what you will see. What you saw at Circuit City is you're going to see big blue and yellow buildings all over America that now say Mattress King and things like that.
What could we
and sports
So
goods.
what you're saying is
that's where it's going.
We'll be able to buy that Best Buy in Colma really cheap soon. So what should we do with that space?
There was a Borders that went down
Stonestown.
at Stonestown Mall, and
Yeah.
the people that took it over just took the letters and Borders and
Rearranged
made an anagram out of the existing.
What's
and that
the
was
new
the name
store
of their
name?
New business. It was called Ode or something. They just took the O, the D, and the E and threw the rest away.
That's
And now it's a
fantastic.
sports authority.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So why do sporting goods stores? I guess
Because you need that shit now, and it's got to be sized.
sized.
So like
That's
if you
why.
go get
Cups
football
need to be
pads,
sized. Don't buy your cups on Amazon.
No. And if you go buy football pads, you got to try that shit on and get it fitted for you. Same thing for helmets and all that stuff.
If I worked at Best Buy, it'd be like the fucking last days of the Roman Empire over there. I'd just be having orgies and toga parties and vomiting all over everything. Like, who cares? You're all out of a job in 6 months anyway. You might as well go out, with a bang.
So you just sit in the back playing Wii U games all day.
Fuck yeah.
HTC announced a couple of Windows phones yesterday, the 8X and 8S. The 8S
How does this compare to the Lumia?
I don't kind of care. The same hardware, basically, different colors. The 8X, which is the one that looked interesting to me, I don't understand why you have a cheap phone and an expensive phone in the Windows Phone category. I think you should just make one awesome Windows Phone.
I think a lot of people want phones for $50 on contract or free.
Yeah, but okay, so that I guess I can't. Let me rephrase. I don't understand the logic of buying into a $2,000 data plan over 2 years and then trying to save $50 on a phone.
Well, that's what a lot of people actually do, and I don't know if those data contracts are actually that expensive for some people.
It's the
When they're in the family share
when
ones.
they have to buy them into the family share plans, which is $40 a phone
Yeah.
plus $90
Not
a month.
not everyone
$80 a
has
month.
the
Yeah, a lot of people are complaining about
$200-$300.
those sharing plans.
Anyway, so the 8X is 4.3-inch 720p screen, 1.5 gigahertz dual core, 1 gigabyte of RAM, 16 gigabytes of storage, and it has NFC, so you can bump your phone. Do you guys feel NFC envy? You're a little worried about that with the iPhone 5?
Well, I don't know enough about NFC to know if I should be envious of it, but it seems like something that Android fans are that they like to point out that this is something they have that iPhone people don't have.
So it's basically the big thing that I think you would use it for, that dumb Samsung ad, which I don't know if we're going to talk about it or not, but it
Let's
shows
talk about
people
it,
sharing a
Because
playlist.
it's dumb.
The thing that it's useful for is contactless payments. Like if you have a contactless payment, you can use your phone to pay for things at the grocery store and basically any place that you see one of those NFC tags on a payment scheme. You guys, this is great podcast, guys. Thanks.
Sorry.
Freedom forever, Gary.
So, are we talking about the Samsung ad?
yeah.
I was going to talk about NFC, but
all I
okay.
can say is it's made me very, very insecure. As I wait in line for the new iPhone, I'm now terrified that some cool Samsung Galaxy S owners are going to come by and high five their phones together and share playlists, and I'll be like, oh fuck, why can't I do that?
Why don't we
We'll
get
get that
idiot
next year. We'll get that next year.
Yeah,
Why
we'll
don't we
next
get your
year.
kid to wait in line for the phone for us?
Because she's too small.
Nobody's going to jack a baby's place in line.
No, but they might just jack the baby.
Well, okay, that's a legitimate concern, I guess. But she needs to grow up faster so she can wait in line for us. I'm tired of waiting in lines.
Well, we could always pay some people to do it.
That's a little shady.
That's not my style, though.
No, you got.
No.
If you're gonna, wait
I'm a
in
man of the
line-
people. I wait in line like everyone else. I'm no better than the next person.
No one is more a man of the people than you, Gary. Winter.
So, yeah, you
I'm
guys.
very egalitarian.
We'll talk about your camping strategies later.
Yeah.
That Samsung ad,
Explain the
they
Samsung
did the same
ad.
thing as what they did for the 4S.
Yeah,
which
so this is
was-
basically a redo of the
Yes.
previous ad, which is
Where
basically
they
a
have-
bunch of Apple sheep, hipsters, however they are portraying them, and standing outside what is basically a mock-up, but
And
clearly
it's
meant to be
it's
an Apple
really,
store.
really cleverly mocked
looks
up.
like the
It
Apple
looks, it looks
store.
like an Apple store, but it's not.
Because
it's
they
close
did,
enough.
they did multiple Apple stores. They did one in LA, the popular ones in LA, the
Right.
one in San Francisco on the corner. So kind of at first glance, like, oh, that looks like Powell Street.
So, yeah, the basic premise of the ad is the same as the old one, which is a bunch of Apple hipsters waiting in line for the new phone, and
Also, they're a little confused and dumb.
Yeah, all drinking each other's Kool-Aid and pretending that the headphone jack being on the bottom now is a huge deal. Yeah, oh my God, and we're getting all the stuff we got last year. And
What does
then-
that even mean?
And then an actually cool Samsung person comes along with his big phone, and everyone in the Apple line goes, wait, what's that?
It's a GS3.
We didn't know about that because we live in a reality distortion field, and we didn't know this
We're
other
gonna
phone
get that
exists.
next.
Wait,
LTE, right?
Did
Check
you
it out.
just high-five that guy's phone with your phone? What was that? Why can't we do that? Your phone's actually better.
So can
Moms
we?
and pops for Apple.
Yeah.
I want to see when they were shooting this ad if people actually walk by and were like,
And then
oh,
in
is
the
that who I
in the
found?
line?
Yeah,
and
can
then
I have to
and
wait
then
in
the
line?
ultimate diss happens is one of the guys that's in the line is actually holding the spot for his square parents who are not cool. So the whole point of the ad is to say, if you're into iPhone, I made this point. This is the Mitt Romney of commercials.
Oh, no.
Let's bring out the thesis.
This is Mitt Romney saying 47% of Americans are just work-shy layabouts who want to sponge off the government.
Get in line for your phone now.
This is Samsung taking the same approach, not attacking their competitor, but attacking their competitor's customers and saying you are an idiot for believing the Apple Kool-Aid and standing in line when you could actually have this other phone, which you've never heard of, but is actually somewhat better.
Can I ask a question that I might or might not like the answer to? Do you guys think this ad is bad because it mocks Apple customers or because it perpetuates myths of tribalism in consumer electronics that are profoundly dumb?
First of all, I would say that
there's a right answer here.
First of all, I would say it's not a myth. I would actually say that although it's an exaggerated version of it. What the people that are in those lines, those people do exist. Any line you go into, you're going to see versions of those conversations.
You go in any forum.
Samsung has not made this up. This phenomenon exists.
It's a tiny. If you're talking about people who complain about
those
phones
are the people
on forums,
those are the people talking to.
Tiny vocal minority.
I don't know.
Android users, they hate Apple.
I think in some ways the concept of the ad.
Apple.
I think in some ways the concept of the ad is fundamentally flawed because Samsung is basically spending a lot of money to remind people that the iPhone is the only phone that people actually stand in line for because it's that popular. So they're kind of just highlighting the popularity of their competitor, but they're trying to say, well, just because it's most popular isn't necessarily the best. But I don't know, insulting the customers. I think what they've basically realized is that, and this is the same thing that Mitt Romney has realized, he's never going to win in the same way that Mitt Romney's never, at this point in the election, right, that most people have already made their mind up. And there's a little 10% gap in the
swing that makes
and you can only really get those guys.
Oh, it's Kevin Costner, one vote.
Most people...
not Kevin Costner, Dennis Quaid.
Most people that are really into... There is tribalism, and most people that are really into their iPhone are never going to switch to Android. Most people that are really into Android, because they're very much into their loyalty.
That ad is for the people who there is no question that they're ever going to buy anything but an Android phone.
No, the ad...
It is.
Yeah, the ad doesn't...
It is for people who are never going to buy an iPhone, but they don't know whether to buy a Samsung or an HTC or Windows Phone, and this is trying to push them to Samsung.
It's for people that are already in the Android camp, but may have an HTC or a Nexus, and maybe this is the best phone to have. And they get to mock the iPhone people as well.
Why does nobody ever target the Windows
But it's also
phone
aimed at independents. Tech independents,
don't kick the baby.
Swing voters who are like, I don't really care about Apple, or I just want the best phone. And they look at the ad and go, yeah, I don't want to be one of those guys. They're kind of just a herd mentality. And look at these young, trendy folks over here bumping their phones together.
I don't know. Brad was on the
fence.
Brad was on the fence, and I think he really wants to be one of those trendy hippie.
My
cool
point
hipsters.
is just that the tiny percentage of people on either side of these inane holy wars about consumer products, which is... I mean, there's stuff that's probably stupider to fight about on the internet, like maybe sports and TV, but it's real close. This is near the bottom of the list, right?
Right.
Just don't do this. This is bad advertising.
No, it's effective advertising.
Don't buy it. Why are we talking about it?
A lot of people have made the
advertising.
argument. A lot of people have made the argument that it's no different than the Apple Mac versus PC ads that they ran for many years.
I thought that Apple Mac versus PC ads were real bad too.
Well, Adweek said it was the best ad campaign of the decade.
They didn't say they were clever. I said they were bad. I think they're very clever. I think they were very bad for.
Were they effective?
General. People talk.
They were clearly hugely effective because people still remember them, and they haven't even been on the air for 10 years. The difference between the two campaigns, and it's a small, but I think it's an important distinction, is that Apple in the Mac versus PC was mocking the PC, albeit in an anthropomorphized form. They were mocking the PC,
not the PC.
Samsung is actually mocking the customer, which I don't know if that's a smart thing to do, but clearly, again, Android is hugely popular.
Doesn't care about Apple users.
Samsung is selling a lot of phones as is. I don't think they've got too much to worry about other than maybe having all their phones cleared off the shelves by court rulings in the near future. But for the time being, they're quite happy to be. They really are attacking. I don't know if it's a response to the fact there's a lot of animosity between them and Apple, but they really. This is like, again, to use the plug analogy, I've never seen so much negative advertising in technology.
I'm surprised that in that ad they didn't go after the price of the iPhone, not people, even mid-contract paying $500.
Well, because Samsung is the Galaxy S3 is a full price phone.
It used to be.
It's on contract as well, but no one's going to go mid-contract and buy a Galaxy S3.
It used to be in tech, just highlighting
Android typically,
because
there's so many Android phones come out, people usually wait till the end of the contract and upgrade.
That's true.
Which, to be fair, I think the vast majority of Apple users also do. But again, those people in line, I would say many of them mid-contract.
It's an amusing ad, and it may well be effective. But again, I question the fundamental wisdom of mocking people that might actually be interested in
You
your
are not
phone.
your
If
smartphone.
this is what you, I could be an iPhone person that is actually considering, that stood in line for the last iPhone, but is now maybe considering a Galaxy S3 because a friend showed me one, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. But I'm like, oh, this is what you think of me? You think I'm one of these herd mentality sheep? Well, fuck you.
I think the people outside the line and inside the line look exactly the same.
Now, I do want to
You
talk
think
about
the line is just a mirror?
I do want to talk about the phone
Yeah.
bumping, because that I think is
Okay.
I think that's the weak point of the ad, when the two people bump their phones together.
No. Let's go simulate it. They put
they
their phones
actually
back
go
to
like
back,
this. High five, Norm.
and then they
Tech high
tap it.
five.
They tap it with the finger.
Tap,
This
tap,
is
tap, tap,
this
tap,
is
tap.
very.
I wanna do that all the time.
Very
Just a tap.
uncomfortable.
Yes, and so I've sent you a playlist, which of course in reality is I don't want to hear your shitty music, and you don't want to hear my shitty music. But of course in Samsung's own reality distortion field, where
Sorry,
this
Spotify.
happens, and that's the whole point. It's pointless anyway. Let's talk about NFC real quick, because this is something that came out of this ad.
Yes.
Is that
Let's go back to
there
NFC.
was some controversy about whether or not NFC should have been in the new iPhone. It's something a lot of the modern
NFC
Android
is
phones
probably
have.
the last feature. If NFC is going to be a thing, NFC is the last feature that needs to be added to the
So
iPhone
it
that
allows
exists
things
now.
like direct beaming of material between
It's
the direct handshake between phones that are close together.
It's basically a contactless data transfer.
contactless payments for credit cards and things like that.
Yeah.
So
that's the big thing is contactless payments, but the payment authorization systems are all over the place.
So
Google has one, MasterCard has
Apple
one.
clearly looked at it and decided that it wasn't worth it. Did they miss something here? Should the iPhone have had
infrastructure
NFC?
isn't there yet.
The infrastructure is getting there.
I don't see a lot of those swipers.
Every
No.
Safeway in the country has them.
Oh, they have them now?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's both less secure because it doesn't require contact, and it's more secure because the data on the chip is encrypted in a more real way. Like if you look at the encryption on a mag stripe of a credit card, it's trivial to break at this point because it's old formats, and like upgrading the millions and millions of mag stripe card readers in the world is not a feasible thing.
Right.
The fact that, however, that somebody can theoretically walk up to you and bump your wallet and take get an NFC reading off a credit card in your pocket or off of your phone theoretically again
Yeah.
is worrisome to security people, and there's legitimate concern on that.
Yeah.
Because if there's anything we've learned over the last 10 years, it's that really banks should not be trusted.
I
with
just
security
think
stuff.
that I think NFC is a technology that has a lot of potential, and I think it is something that Android phones, at least the current ones, have over the iPhone. It's just that I think this bumping playlist is not the way I would have showcased it. There's got to be more interesting and useful ways.
No,
to
the
use
way
NFC
you
than
showcase that is saying, "Hey, what about the $20 you owe me?" Boom, there it is.
I mean, I remember Steve Ballmer standing on a stage with a Zune going, "I'm going to squirt my songs at you," and nobody gave a shit. So what makes anyone think they're going to give a shit
see,
now?
the difference there, though, is that squirting songs to people sounded fucking awesome. Because remember, we were in post-Napster world then, and you thought, oh, man, I would love people to share music. Hey, here's this
before
song.
streaming
Check
services.
this out. It was before RDO and Spotify. The problem was nobody fucking bought Zunes, so it was completely useless.
Yeah.
Like, if everybody had Zunes in a world with no iPods,
Yeah.
squirting music would have been fantastic.
Right. And I think, and there's another fragmentation problem as well. And again, this will change as the Android platform matures and more of the phones that are out there in the wild have the more recent operating system. But again, 82% of phones don't support this feature that are Android phones.
The point of
So there's a 4 out of 5 chance that if I do meet an Android buddy and say I want to bump my phone with you, like, oh, I can't do it.
It's not a phone-to-phone feature. It's a phone to point-of-sale station feature. That's what
right,
what
and
NFC
that's why I'm
is going
saying,
to
and that's why I'm
break
saying
in as.
they are not showing it in its best light in that commercial.
Well,
Because honestly, no one's going to do this in the public.
explaining
you
what
look like an idiot.
explaining what NFC is to people who are watching ads on TV is a hopeless thing. And also, that version of the ad that we watched before the show is 90 seconds long.
So
no way that's in the one that shows on TV.
when Apple inevitably does NFC, that we presume, what will they call it?
I don't think they're going to do NFC. If they haven't done it yet, then they're
No,
looking at that and saying NFC is not going to
I
take
think
off.
they're going to do it. I think Apple doesn't want to do things first. They want to do it best. They think that when they're more of those
Touch
kiosks,
smart.
yeah, what are
Smart
they going to
touch.
call it? Air touch,
Yeah, they'll call it AirPay or
touch
something.
me,
air touch, No.
touch you.
I touch.
I touch you.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, did we
perfect.
talk? Did you
Touch
guys talk?
time.
Did you guys talk about earpods while I was away?
No, we
That's
didn't.
exciting.
Ah, no, it's not. Hey, they point sound in your ear
Yes.
as opposed to away from your ear.
Who would have thought it? The sound should go into your ears.
So the thing about Apple earbuds is that I think that along with the person who designed the airline seat, that the standard airline seat,
Yeah.
and I can't think of anything worse than those two things. Like the default Apple earbuds are the only thing worse than them were the in-ear Apple earbuds, the $35 upgrades, which were terrible.
Yeah, I hate those.
I mean, these things look like they're going to be like pencil erasers jammed into your ear.
I mean, I think, for the majority of people that just use those earbuds, it's an improvement over the ones that you get currently. But a lot of people that really take their music seriously are never going to use those things. And
Or
they're going
comfort
to use their
seriously, just be
Sennheisers or
clear.
their, Bang Olufsen
Yeah.
hipster headphones
Um,
or their Skull Candy.
oh.
No, those are shit, aren't they?
Actually, they're getting back. Those Skull Candy people are saying that where they used to be a rebadger of shit Chinese
I want to
headphones,
get a
they're
set
saying
of
they're
really,
making real
I want to
ones.
get a set of really, really good headphones. I have some Sennheisers, but they're kind of lower end
over the
ones.
ear or ear
like
ear
proper,
buds?
really comfortable
Cups.
cups,
Oh.
cans.
Talk to Dave Snyder. He's all into
But
that.
I won't buy Beats because fuck
No,
that shit.
Of course.
No,
Do you want something to walk around or just at home?
Um,
And how much you're willing to pay?
I think
Because those headphones and do you
Yeah, you can go up to like $2,000 on headphones if you want to get crazy.
Well, no, I'm not going to do that.
Plus, you'll need an amp.
But it would be nice to find a good gaming headset that also is just good for listening to
No
music.
such thing.
No such thing.
Well, I
Well, I
mean,
mean,
you
that-
can
that
spend a
goes-
lot
some
of money,
people-
and like the Astro A40s are nice. They sound okay, but they're tuned for games and not
you
music.
could buy a nice headset or a nice headphone and use that as your gaming headphone.
Right, that's the
Yeah,
other way to
That's
do
the
it.
way to do it.
Would it have an inline mic?
No, you
No,
have
and
to
then
use
you
your
use separate
snowball.
mic.
I don't
Yeah.
like doing that. But okay. All right. I'm
Yeah,
going to try
but
this.
what's
Why don't you-
What's the difference?
Yeah, the snowball you have in front of your desk anyway.
I know, but it's...
You're not putting your mouth to it.
I
when
mean,
you're
it sounded pretty good the other night when we were playing
Sounded
Borderlands.
fine.
I'll just use that then.
talking.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Um,
But I don't like the headphones I have. The headphones I have are shitty.
Canon announced the 6D.
There's a big conference going on right now in Germany. We talked about this last week.
Photokina?
I wish I was there.
You should have
Very
gone.
It's very expensive. I don't want to waste money, company money. It's in Germany also.
There's plenty of
Well,
stuff you
well,
could
say
do in
that, You say
Germany.
that like it's a bad thing. What do you got against
Well,
Germany?
It's a long trip.
Oh, okay. I thought you were
and
dissing
we're
Germany.
going. No, I've
Why
never been
can
to
you not
Germany.
mute iMessage? I have iMessage completely closed, and when somebody sends me a message, it bings.
You can turn the sounds off in the settings.
I know, but then I don't ever get. Okay, yeah. Anyway,
Both
so-
Nikon
yeah.
and Camera announced two full frame cameras. So big sensors at $2,100, and I'm going to buy neither of them: the D600 and the Canon 6D.
Okay.
A new line.
Why are
both
you
new
not buying
lines.
either of them?
Autofocus on the Canon sucks, and the D600 has. I think I'm not.
Run
really
down the
going Nikon.
cameras first, please.
Do you not, by the way, bother taking pictures with your phone at all
No.
anymore?
Nope.
So the
Nope.
camera, if they, no matter what
When
the
I
camera
take
does, it's not in
pictures,
any way a selling point.
When
for you.
I take pictures with my phone,
yeah.
I turn off Wi-Fi because it goes to PhotoStream, or when
Right.
it goes to PhotoStream, I delete it immediately because I don't want those crappy phone camera pictures polluting my PhotoStream.
Then why take the picture at all?
Because if I don't have my camera with me, my other camera,
I
You
I
really,
still
you really
take
are
cameras with
turned
my
into
phone.
quite a photo snob, haven't you?
Norm's
image
leaning
quality is
into
everything.
it.
I mean, I like my NEX3 a lot, and there's no question
Yeah.
it takes far better pictures than my phone.
Mhm.
But again, we've said it a million times: the best camera is one you have with you, and I'm not going to carry that thing with me all around.
This is true. So Canon 6D, 600N, 600,
D600,
D600. It's not at all confusing.
Nikon D600. They have the
understand.
letters in front of the numbers,
I'm just saying
and the Canon
it's
ones-
unfortunate the naming schemes.
Well, it's just like ATI and Nvidia when they had
that also was unfortunate.
all the way up to the 9800s, and
And they just reset.
do you remember the 6800? Oh, which one?
There were two
6870 or the
6800s.
6800 or
And there were two 6800s.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is confusing.
So are these normal? Are these
These are
cameras for human
DSLRs.
beings, or are
These
they
are
for
these are
professionals?
cameras they say are for enthusiasts, so not for professionals.
they expensive?
Professional, they're $2,100.
Wow,
each
that's a lot of money for
the body.
enthusiasts.
for the body. They're deep pocketed enthusiasts.
Why would you buy one of these instead of the 5D Mark III?
5D Mark III is $3,500.
So okay.
So this is $1,400 cheaper.
But I think if you're in the range that you're spending $2,000 on a camera body, probably $1,400 is not.
No,
You
I think $2,000. The $1,400, that's almost twice the price. So yes,
No, I understand. I'm just saying if you're the kind of person that would spend $2,000 on a camera, why not just spend $3,000?
really, I don't think that's how people think.
If you're buying that body,
I think
if
a
you're
lot
in
of
that
people
market for a
save-
body, you've put so much money into glass that $2,500 versus $3,500 probably isn't that much of a difference.
Mm.
I mean, because you're looking at probably somebody who has a few $1,000s worth of lenses easy. Because you're not going to buy that if you're just using the kit lens.
or renting lenses.
Maybe renting lenses.
Yeah, I think for $1,400 is a lot of money.
I think anything over $1,200 is a shitload of
Would
money
you
for
rather have
camera.
a 5D Mark III or would you rather have a nice MacBook Air and a 6D? I would take the 6D and the MacBook Air if someone offered me both of those things.
That's an interesting point. Okay, fair enough. That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Sony announced a super duper slim version of the PS3. This
Now,
is
I
the
thought-
third
I thought
hardware
this-
revision for the PS3,
I
right?
thought this was quite interesting.
It's. I mean, I don't understand the impetus at this
Well,
point.
I'm confused by it because I don't understand. They already have a very nice, perfectly good, slim PS3 out there. This one is a bit slimmer, but there's nothing. It has kind of the crappy top loading system that I don't.
This one is
love.
probably the one. It's probably parts are cheaper now.
It kind of looks a bit more kind of Bang Olufsen-y, you know.
It's I don't. Is it shiny? It is shiny.
it's a little shinier.
It's no longer like the matte.
Yes,
This is like
and it's more expensive than the
it
current
is.
PS3.
It's $20 more because it's a bundle includes Drake's Uncharted 3.
Yeah.
Um,
So I'm confused by this.
So they wanted to bundle it, make a little more money on it. I bet they refine the manufacturing process now because it makes sense if they're planning to make a PS4 because when they released a PS3, remember,
Yeah.
super expensive, but they still sold the PS2
Yeah.
because a lot of games out and it's
Yeah.
available, and they have PSN also. So they want to keep the PS3 at an affordable price, and they launch it now so that next year when they launch a PS4 or whenever, they can lower this price to $200 without the game, and that will be the budget model. Still great for games, still play BSN, but for people who don't want to spend the $500,
That's great.
$600
I've never heard of a
PlayStation.
company raising the price of its console right before going into a holiday sales season.
They'll call it a
and
bundle.
and for the first time in quite a few years against a new console as well. That's
they'll drop the
serious competition.
they'll pull
the new
the
console
bundle.
starts at $300.
yes,
To be fair,
yes.
They'll pull the copy of Uncharted 3 from this bundle and sell it for $50, $60
gonna-
less.
yeah,
in
they're
and
gonna
six
PlayStation
months.
really hit its stride. There are a lot of good games on there.
If I was Sony, I would love to be going into this holiday with the PS3 at $199. I don't know if they can make that add up, but I think that would be much more compelling than what they have right now. Because Xbox is, they just keep slashing the price on that thing.
But
Those things keep red ringing too.
not
No,
the
they
new
don't.
ones.
The new ones don't.
The
Some-
second body style hasn't red ringed at all that I
At
know.
all.
The new one doesn't do that.
Right. Once they got the whole thing on one chip, all bets were off. I wonder if there's a die shrink involved with this. It's a half the size of the last one, or 25% smaller than the.
Slim.
It's half the size of the original and 25% the size.
I thought we had said
of the
goodbye to
Slim.
top loading. I didn't realize that was still a thing.
No slots.
Yeah, no slots. Top loading is probably cheaper. The slot drives are always more expensive on PC.
Yeah.
I think
Top loading Blu-ray.
yeah, that's crazy.
Are you going to get a Wii U?
No, $300 is too much. We use the thing where
talked about that last week, right?
I will wait for someone else to buy it, and then go to their house to play it.
Yeah, hey Gary, can we come to your house to play Wii U games?
I don't know if I'm going to get it yet.
You should get it. You can camp out. I'll come camp with you if you get it.
I actually camped out overnight for the original Wii,
So did I.
which I felt
At
very
Target.
clever about at first, but then regretted instantly. I spent more time in line than I
That
did playing
first
it.
month was great.
No, you played all of Super Mario Galaxy.
No, honestly, even if that thing had just been a Super Mario Galaxy box and that's all it did, I
Yeah.
would have got my money's worth out.
It was so novel.
It's brilliant.
we played a lot of that.
One of
the
the
first
best
2
games
It
I've
was,
years.
it was the
ever
first
played,
console I
yeah.
took to people's houses and took
Yeah.
to family parties and stuff because they didn't have it.
The parents would bowl.
It definitely, yes. The Wii Sports, and like I said, we got a lot out of it. Wii U, I don't know.
We had at
played
least
with-
2 parties at your house where we played Wii Sports.
Yeah, and new Super Mario Brothers. We had a tremendous fun time playing that
Yeah,
as
it was
well.
good.
So I'll probably get it. I don't know. We'll see.
It had Fruit Ninja before Fruit Ninja.
Didn't
Yeah,
have Fruit
it
Ninja
did.
before Fruit
In
Ninja.
Wii Sports Resort.
Circle Pad Plus for 3DS XL is out in Japan. That's that big second thumbstick that hangs off on the right side.
Yeah.
It was unclear
That
whether
thing is
that was
even
going to
bigger
happen.
now.
It's really big. Yeah. Still pretty dumb.
All right.
And then Valve got Weta made a portal turret for Valve. I don't know if you've seen, I know you've seen this. I don't know if Norm's seen it yet. It is awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
Mechanical
They
and
had done a
everything,
Team
right?
Fortress turret for
Mechanical,
them in the past, and now they have a
yes.
portal turret also.
Yeah, the Team Fortress one's just a level 1 turret. I was a little bummed when I saw that.
Yeah, it's not a full-on.
No.
I don't think the physics work for the full-on deployment.
You don't think so?
No.
I bet you
It
could
probably
build that.
would be top heavy.
I'm pretty
But
sure
you
I've
could
seen that
just
online.
Bolt it to
even.
the ground.
Yeah.
I don't
what I
think it
would
could
do.
deploy as a from first.
Oh, no,
to-
no,
Oh
you
no, they
can't
couldn't. They couldn't
no.
actually make it deploy
Yeah.
like that, but you could have it in its full.
Yeah, you want
form.
the dual Gatling.
Would you rather have
rocket launcher.
a fully functional, model replica working mechanical portal turret or TF2 turret?
If it was the level 3
Level
TF2
3.
turret,
Does
I'd
it
rather
actually shoot?
TF2.
Does not actually has lasers though, at least for the portal one.
Yeah, I like the TF2 turret.
I think
mean,
I
they're,
would take
they're
the
both
portal
they're both
one
great. They're
that
very
has the
different
lasers.
styles.
Does it talk? Is anyone there?
You can make it talk.
There you are. Yeah, they both track though, which is scary. If you
Yeah.
were- when we went in the Valve offices last
Yeah,
time,
they activate when
and
you
it
walk
and
in.
it aims at you. You're like,
Yeah.
wait, what?
Yeah, that's a bit scary.
It's not good. You wish you had a demo man gun,
Yeah,
grenade launcher.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or a spy. You could be a spy. You go in with a balaclava on your head.
I'm going to play some music, and then we're going to talk about what we've been testing and our iPhone 5 camping strategy. Gary Whitta, on our desk directly in front of you, you have what appears to be an as seen on TV product called the Oldie Brooklyn Lantern.
Yes, as you know, I've been a fan of this product
Ooh, 1 of 3.
since I first got it.
You got 3 of them?
Well, I don't know. I somehow ended up with 3.
It's a lot of Oldie Brooklyn What is the Oldie Brooklyn
Somehow
Lantern?
ended up with 3. That's how it always goes with as seen on TV. I got the Sky Mall.
Would you like to add a second? Oh, yeah.
The
so
last
Sky
time you
Mall,
were,
right?
I was
told you it
I
was
got
good.
the Sky Mall. It's in my bag.
Oh, you actually have it?
I actually have.
There's
that
no
issue.
Sky Mall on Virgin. This is the one
didn't-
failing of Virgin
That is
America.
that is a failing. That is a
Wow,
failing.
Someone should rectify that.
Are you not going to go get it?
I can go get it.
We talked
Do
about
we
this
really
last time
need
Gary
it?
was
Keep
here.
on talking about the oldie Brooklyn Lantern.
So, I brought this in because we'd been talking about it recently. It's one of my favorite products that I bought off TV
It's
recently.
a flashlight, right?
It's basically a flashlight, but it's a lamp. It's very, very useful when I wake up now in the middle of the night, or when Leah wakes up for late night, middle of the night baby feedings.
Uh-huh.
This light on its lowest setting is perfect for late night.
Is this like the thing that Luke uses to charge R2D2?
It looks a bit
In Empire Strikes Back?
It looks a bit like that.
You think we could turn this into that? I bet I could make. I bet I,
I
could
bet you
make
could.
that.
So it's all LED. It runs
Okay.
on 2D batteries.
That's a lot of
It has a
batteries.
dimmer switch, so it goes all the way up to super brightness.
2D batteries with an LED light is going to last like 100 years.
Yeah, that's what's great
It's
about
like
it.
a Book of Eli lantern.
Yeah, so I'm going to keep this. So we keep this in the house now for power cuts. Because you can just, rather than having a flashlight, you can just plonk it on the table and actually have a whole
Can you
area.
play like a board game or something with this?
Yeah, you have all kinds of fun with it. So I've used it a few. So we use it every night now for the late night baby feedings. On its lowest setting, gives you just enough light to kind of wake the baby up and give her bottle
Yeah,
and
of
not
course.
have to,
Disturb
have too
everyone
much
else.
light. I also used it in installing a new video card recently. Provided enough light to kind of get.
Do you
inside
not
the
own a
guts.
flashlight?
But I don't have to hold the flash. I would have to hold that. This I can just set down and it provides the light that I need.
But doesn't it kind of like
So
usually?
we have
headband.
Yeah, you can have the head.
headband.
Yeah, if you want to look like an idiot, or you could. I have the flashlight.
Clearly,
you-
that's never
or
stopped
you can have the
us.
flashlight between your teeth. That's not really for me either.
Oh, you can be the
Shoulder.
actor in the ad.
And I do think it's going to come in very handy for
Installing video
our
cards?
little iPhone camping vacation.
Oh my goodness.
Did we talk about the acting that's required for an as seen on TV? I
That
thought we
was
did.
all about last
Yeah,
time.
we did that.
last
We
time.
did that
Couldn't
the
remember.
other week.
Sky Mall.
That
Yeah,
is indeed
so
a copy
so
of Sky
true
Mall.
to my. Oh, it's actually not. This is a
Talking
different
to the
one.
mic.
Well, has that same ad, but
Yes,
it's not on the cover.
It's not on the cover anymore.
But it
This
has
is a-
both things that you talked about last time.
Yeah.
I folded the pages to make notes. It has the Queen Corgi.
Yes, I told you about that. The solar-powered Queen and Corgi.
How many people do you think touch that magazine after going
Oh,
to the
many,
bathroom without
many,
washing their hands?
Many.
Who takes Sky Mall to the bathroom in
I'm just saying,
On the
coming back
airplane.
in to the seat. Oh, I'm going to peruse this copy of Sky Mall.
Who doesn't wash their hands on the airplane? That's
It's
gross.
kind of hard. You have to press the water twice.
So are there any products that stuck out for you,
Yeah.
Norm, that you thought considered ordering?
Considered.
know,
I'm
you-
just glad that they took it. Remember when they used to have
here
the
it goes.
Omaha Steak and Lobster shipping
Yeah.
company? That always made me hungry on the
That's
plane.
a trap.
So there is Seal Shield.
Don't
Has
worry.
you covered
Has you covered.
What does
the
it
dude
do?
jumping out into the
into
water.
the water.
Because the
So again, I want to
iPad-
understand the context of this picture. What is happening there?
Maybe he dropped his iPad into the ocean and he's jumping out to
Well,
save
maybe
it.
he shouldn't be in the ocean with his iPad.
He's wearing a suit.
He's wearing a suit.
Well, he's wearing a
Also,
jacket and
yeah.
a shirt.
I don't
and
know
tie.
what's going on there. It's very weird.
Hair is going all over the place.
He's
Yes.
got. It looks like his hair was styled.
Yes.
What else you got? Anything else good?
There's some great pet stuff here. Oh, here goes. The Diamond Jubilee Solar Queen and Corgi sold separately.
Yeah.
She
The
weighs.
corgis are sold. Can we just get the
can
corgi?
get-
You can get just the corgi. It's
Yeah,
15
just buy a
bucks.
Man,
solar-powered
Chloe would
corgi.
really not like that. She already doesn't trust
How
the
big is
solar-powered
this?
lights in
Oh.
the backyard.
It's only 2.5 inches high.
Yeah, I mean, it's very small. It's not like
Oh.
a life-size corgi.
So it's like something that's like a garden gnome but smaller.
Yeah.
2.5 inches high.
What I was
Anyway.
so you see the thing that I always see in there that I wonder about are those places for the dog to go to the bathroom inside the house.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
I assume they're for like apartment dwellers,
I guess.
but I can't imagine having that in my house.
Well, people have cat boxes. That's just a box of shit.
But the cat will go in there and dig and take care of it by itself. You'd have to stand there with the dog and be like, "No, this is the spot. Go to the spot here, you." And then he's going to spray everywhere.
I don't know.
Seems like a bad idea.
You don't want dogs. Going.
Anyway,
Although
I'm a
dog
big
poop
fan of
smells
the old
less worse
Brooklyn
than cat
Lantern,
poop.
and I'm telling you, it's going to come in handy on our
Can you
trip.
demonstrate it on camera?
I don't have the.
it's not on. It's not opened.
This one is still.
This is
boxed.
new in box.
Oh my
Mint.
God.
Well, I'll read you the copy.
Okay.
Introducing the oldie Brooklyn Lantern, the vintage-style lantern with new LED technology. Don't keep a bunch of old flashlights in a drawer since they never work when you need them. I dispute that. They do occasionally.
I always have a flashlight.
Old Brooklyn Lantern has 12 ultra-bright LED bulbs that provide a brighter, longer-lasting light that fills the whole room. Take yours home today. Stays cool to the touch.
Stays cool to the touch.
For home patio
because it
camping
might be a
and more.
lantern. You might think it's
Durable
fire.
metal construction, shatterproof dome. I mean, what more could you possibly
And it
want?
takes 2 D batteries.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which are not included.
So
Yes, they're not included.
can I point something out?
What?
The old Brooklyn Lantern is super skeuomorphic. It's new technology designed to look like old technology.
But it's made to have old world charm. So it's a combination of the best things.
Why is the leather binder of your calendar app in iOS or OS 10 not charming like the old Brooklyn Lantern?
Because
Brooklyn
iCal
Lantern
sucks.
I don't know.
I feel like this is some hypocrisy here.
But this is very handy.
You know what? It's patented.
Yes.
Patent pending.
No, patented.
Really?
Fully patented.
Patented.
Yeah.
I want to see the patent application for this.
So this is the first thing I bought for a long time from I've seen on TV that I've actually
Scan the
not
QR
regretted
code.
because it's coming. It's very
Do
useful.
you still wear the Snuggie suit?
Yeah, in fact, I may bring that with me tonight.
Oh my goodness.
Not a bad idea.
Oh my goodness.
You got to be careful because
you'll be
you
sweating.
want to
in
make
that.
sure you wear underpants under that.
Well, I always wear underpants. Most of the time, anyway.
Never nude, huh, Gary?
Oh my God, the Apple Store in New York.
Oh,
Oh, is the line already mental? Oh, yeah, but that's the flagship store. That line's all that's
those are the people that want to be on the news.
Yeah.
Norm, you've been testing the Microsoft Sculpt keyboard.
Yeah, it's weird. The space bar on that keyboard is split in 2, so that the left side of the space bar you can turn into a backspace key.
Which sounded like a good idea to me when I first heard about it.
It does not disable the existing backspace key, and you can also disable it if you want. I do not think. I mean, we all know that the current keyboard layout is inefficient. It was designed in a way, way back in old typewriters,
To actually slow you down.
Slow you down because
the keys would get jammed if you typed too fast.
It's a mechanical problem.
Right.
Now, because it's all digital, we're just accustomed to that layout. And people have designed keyboards with more efficient layouts. You know, the Dvorak keyboard and stuff like that.
Yeah, but none of that stuff ever caught on.
But some people do actually learn it.
I know people who type with the Dvorak keyboard.
I don't think.
Yeah, of course you do.
I don't think that a new keyboard layout, even having the backspace relocated to the left side of the spacebar or the left half of the spacebar, even a minor change as that, I don't think is useful because if you get too accustomed to that, once you move off to another keyboard, you're screwed.
Right.
And theoretically, the idea of having a different layout is that it's more efficient, so you actually do use that more often.
Well, and the
than old
idea of
way.
the left side seems to intuitively make a lot of sense. Like the right side of the spacebar takes you forward, and the left side would take you back. So that seems to make sense, but it doesn't really work that way.
I think it's too late to innovate. I mean, the problem is that everybody has muscle memory for typing.
I think keyboards is one of those areas that's very, very hard to innovate because people are just so used to keyboards.
So
being
the way
they
people
are.
do innovate is actually just add more buttons around the existing QWERTY. Or
Right.
and numpad and lights and stuff, and then for gaming keyboards, that's
Yeah,
all.
I mean, we all appreciate
rage.
volume buttons and things
Yeah.
like that on our keyboards these
Yeah.
days. That's good.
Mhm.
Media playback and stuff.
But leave QWERTY alone.
Yeah, you don't need to mess with that. And I don't even like those ergonomic.
I
sculpted
do like the sculpted
keyboards, the ones that are split. I could never get.
I
comfortable with those.
love a good natural keyboard.
No, I never liked them.
I went to XOXO this weekend, which was the Hugs and Kisses festival. Apparently, I didn't know that's what XOXO meant until Friday morning.
XOXO.
This was a thing. This was a Kickstarter, and it was put on by some dudes from Twitter and who've done startups and stuff over the years. But it was a really interesting group of kind of like the right kind of lunatics that bought into this Kickstarter with basically no plan for the conference. And it was for content people who make stuff, basically. So it was artists and writers and singers. The Kleptones guy was there. and TV people and web people and all sorts of different people talking about
happening.
I mean, yeah, maybe that's weird, but it was people talking about how they figured out ways to make money doing things they love, which was and then
That's
Dan
a good
Harmon,
subject.
and then Dan Harmon talking about money being the root of all evil and destroying all the things that he's loved. Dan Harmon's the community guy, if
Right.
you don't know, who has, it seems like, consistently been screwed over by the money people. But it was really good. There were a lot of people who had done like successful Kickstarter projects that were talking about the lessons, basically lessons learned, either funding or figuring out how to fund and do their own projects.
Yeah.
Like the Studio Neat people who make the Glyph and the Cosmonaut were there talking about turning a dumb idea into a product that lots of people bought. The James and Lisette who made Indie Game the Movie were there talking about the challenges of funding a movie on Kickstarter and the things that they learned and the things that they learned moving from being basically commercial cinematographers, people who made TV commercials for a living and going into filmmaking. And then Adam wrapped up the weekend and talked about how he likes to just copy stuff. So whether it's like an Indiana Jones hat or whatever. It was an interesting weekend. I'm going to write something else up. There's a gallery on the site with pictures from the event. There were a ton of people who've made products that we have looked at and either mocked or enjoyed or whatever. The Elevation Dock, talked to the Elevation Dock guys. If you remember, that was the first $1 million Kickstarter. It was that big aluminum block dock.
Oh, yeah.
I still think docks are kind of silly.
Apple will not be selling a dock with iPhone 5.
No dock with iPhone 5.
Yeah, the end of the dock. That's another interesting
No bumper,
thing.
too.
Oh, now, did we ever get to the bottom of the Lightning controversy of whether or not you can pass audio through it?
You
can,
cannot.
right?
No.
You can.
With the adapter.
Digital. The adapter does D to A conversion.
But people will be selling cables that just go straight.
There's no, if there is a cable, it will have to have a DAC, a digital to audio
The
converter.
adapter has a DAC inside.
So I'm going to have to buy that bloody
the $30
converter, aren't I?
adapter. Yeah, for everything that uses an analog out.
Bastards.
Yeah, and that's straight from Apple PR. They responded finally.
Right.
Well, okay. Just to be clear, the way Apple PR responds to a question isn't to say no, we don't support this thing. They say yes, the adapter will do analog out.
So right now, if you have a current car dock that has a 30-pin connector with the analog out,
That's what
you
I
can buy
have.
the adapter. So you're plugging your phone to the Lightning to
You'll just plug the
30-pin.
adapter into the cable.
Just leave it in the
then-
cable. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it just means there has to be electronics in that
people
cable.
that make speaker docks and things like that must be scrambling.
It
Right
is.
now.
It has been a really, really bad couple of weeks for anybody that wasn't in the loop.
Because there are so many third-party businesses, case manufacturers, docks, cables, that basically their whole business is based around Apple's products.
Yeah.
That when Apple makes a change, they have to respond.
And
quickly release, they scrambled and now have 18 Apple iPhone 5 accessories.
Who's this?
Quirky?
Oh, really?
Does Apple? I know they do this with cases. They provide all the very specific dimensions. Does Apple provide like the schematics for Lightning so that?
No, you have to be an official Apple partner.
Right.
So there's a licensing process.
So if I'm like Bose, and I'm now
you're a licensed partner, so
Right,
they
so
probably
I'm
knew in advance.
Right. So I'm thinking my next docks have to be Lightning compatible.
Well, but the thing is, there's a challenge because you have to be both Lightning compatible and old dock compatible.
Sell two
Right.
SKUs.
So
Inventory problems.
So then here's the other challenge.
No, you just have one that has both sets of ports.
Or you have
more
USB
expensive.
devices that you plug a cable in, and then it just works itself out.
Yeah.
The other huge challenge is the installed base for dock connectors. If you look at hotel rooms, every mid-range and up hotel room in the country has an iPod dock alarm in it almost.
Right.
The first place I've seen this was in a Kimpton or something a few weeks ago, where they actually had instead of an iPod dock, they just had a block that had two power, like normal three pin AC power plugs.
Right.
Plus 2 USB ports.
Yeah, it's become quite
so they
ubiquitous.
didn't have the dock.
And of course, you could take that adapter with you, but if it's like a dock where your phone sticks out of it, sitting on with an additional adapter,
going to double
would
dangle and be
very
real
wobbly.
scary. Yeah,
I don't think that's great.
So
Apple has definitely kind of put the cat amongst the pigeons with this one.
People also bitch about a mini USB. There is a Lightning to micro USB adapter.
Well, there has to be for the EU.
For EU.
Yeah.
Only power and syncing.
Right.
Yeah.
What else?
So yeah, the Elevation Dock people were there. The Tintype Gypsy, which we talked to the guy at Photo Booth SF. The other person doing tintypes in the country that I'm aware of is a woman named Megan something. I can't remember her last name. But she has a trailer that she's made into a dark room, and she drives around taking like landscape shots of with tintypes, which I thought was super cool. Bree was there with MakerBot. He was demoing the old replicator for people there who'd never seen that. And watching people see a 3D printer work for the first time, I know you think that they just make little plastic things at this point, Gary, and you're kind of cynical and used up about it. But watching people watch that is fascinating. Because they're like, what is it doing? Oh, it's making something. And then, it's a printer. Okay, I understand what a printer is. And then they kind of sit there and watch it for a minute, and it goes up a layer, and the thing gets taller. And they're like, oh, wow, that's amazing. So that was cool. What else? Cards Against Humanity was there. They brought an alligator.
Oh, yeah, I saw you petting an alligator.
I had an alligator on my lap. Alligators are cold. I didn't know that.
Well, yeah, they're cold-blooded.
But cold-blooded and cold are two different things. The alligator on my lap was chilly. It's like air conditioning for your lap. It smelled like a purse or a wallet or something.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of other cool designy stuff. So yeah, that was what I did this weekend.
Yeah, it sounds like fun.
Cool.
Played a lot of The Resistance.
What's that?
It's a board game. We'll play it. I'll bring it to the line tonight.
All right.
We can talk about it next week.
Okay.
And you got a mini fridge in your office, I heard.
I've tested a bunch of things this week. I bought a mini fridge for my office, which is great because now before I didn't have to leave my house. Now I don't even have to leave my office. I would when I'm working. Occasionally, I would have to trudge downstairs to get a soda or something. Now I just right under my desk. Brilliant.
So you just restock it once a week.
Yeah, just
supply chain and work.
Keep it stocked. It's got all my favorite treats in there.
You're the Tim Cook of San Francisco.
Why? What does he do?
Of your house.
He's a supply chain guy.
Oh yeah.
What does he
I've
do?
figured out my supply chain.
Yeah.
No, I know what he does. How it relates to having a fridge under my desk.
Well, it does because you've brought the goods closer to you.
I have simplified this.
You make one trip once a week rather than multiple trips a day.
Capital investment. You bought
a
new store. Basically.
Yeah, so I've been dreaming of a mini fridge for a long time. The next thing is to get a little coffee maker in my office because then I can keep the cream and everything in there.
It's a good idea.
Although now I may not put cream in my coffee anymore. You've turned me around now to the.
I'm happy that I've been able to finally help you with coffee some.
Coming around to the idea of black coffee. So mini fridge was good. I also tested a new video card with Norm's help.
Okay.
I acquired and installed a vastly superior upgrade from my old video card.
Okay.
I had a perfectly decent one in there already. I had an AMD 5870, which is a perfectly good card.
Yeah.
But Norm, you know what PC users are like? They're constantly like, more power.
Yeah, you didn't need the update.
But I wanted it, and you had it. You had a spare 7970. I'm like, I'll take it. So Norm came over, and I installed it.
Why would you not do that?
We did a little test. We ran benchmarks in Arkham City to see what the old and new, how an old card compared.
How much faster is the new card?
So this is running at 1920 by 1200, which is a decent, resolution.
Entirely respectable.
Not super high, but decent on a 24-inch screen. And in the benchmark, I think it maxed out at around 70-something frames per second. With the new card, 120 frames a second. So that is badass.
It's pretty
good.
That
is almost double the performance. And I've been playing. I tell you, I really haven't been.
Does it feel faster when you're actually playing games now?
No. It just like you can never break it. Like no matter what you do, you can't ever slow the game down. Jack up all the settings. You can like whiz the mouse around really fast, and it just handles it.
So you're urged to buy a choo-choo train styled PC case is fading now.
Yeah, so I don't need any of these crazy mods. I'm perfectly happy. The machine I've got now is totally capable of.
You
running
do realize that the mods don't make the computer
speed.
faster.
No, they just make you. It's just cool.
Okay. It's like racing stripes.
So I've been playing a lot of PC games, which I haven't been doing in a while, but I've really been enjoying myself. I played, let's see, what have I been playing?
You played FTL?
Yes, been playing FTL.
I like FTL.
Yeah, it's great.
Reminds me of Begin. Did you ever play Begin back in the old days?
Not something you would use to showcase a video card, but still very nice.
It runs at like 120 frames a second at 1024 by 768.
Really fun game. I played Spec Ops: The Line. Which I enjoyed.
Have you gotten to the part that everybody talks about in that game yet?
I finished it.
Yeah.
So what part are they talking about?
The real fucked up bit in the middle.
Oh, the part with the phosphorus?
With the white phosphorus.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is really specific.
Yeah.
Do people's face get burned off or something?
It's
I don't want to talk about it.
It's not. It's like one of those Modern Warfare type games, except it goes to much darker territory than
really.
What Homeworld tried to do?
I want to know. I want to hear.
You should play it.
Well, we can't really do spoilers.
It's pretty new. I don't want to spoil it.
Children.
I'll tell you about it after.
We can talk about it at lunch.
All right.
But it is horrible.
Okay.
Like it goes to very dark. And it's actually got choice mechanics in it. Like you can make.
Well, there's no real choice there, but
but there are areas where you can choose to do things differently.
Okay.
So I thought it was interesting, and I enjoyed it.
It's what Homefront. It's what Homefront tried to do
Homeworld.
with like
Homeworld tried.
But Homefront was really just a
ham-handed
generic shooter with an interesting premise. But Spec Ops is really different to any other kind of
I
modern
quite
war
enjoyed
type
it.
game
It's
I've
not
played.
perfect, but it's pretty good.
How
No,
long
I
is the
enjoyed
game?
it. What's that?
How long is the game?
Not
6
terribly
hours,
long.
maybe.
Yeah, I blasted through
Oh,
it.
okay. I might play that then.
Borderlands 2, we played a bunch of that in 4-player co-op the other
Yep.
night. I enjoyed that.
It started
It's not
real
really
slow.
my cup of tea, but I can see why people really like it.
So the thing about that game is it's hard to play with 4 players because there's constant there's no time to stop and kind of look at stuff as you pick it up and think,
Right.
oh, should I do this upgrade or should I use this gun or what should I,
And there's so much to do. You're constantly looking at, should I upgrade this and that? I mean, it's great. I've never actually seen that kind of game before. The kind of hybrid
first person Diablo.
Well, the way
first-person RPG.
the way a lot of
combo
people
is actually really
played
interesting.
Borderlands 1 was that people play their own single-player games, and then
Right.
friends who are either high or low level jumped in, but really
Right.
didn't interfere, help you out in the combat,
Right.
but let you enjoy the
Right.
single-player
But
story and campaign on your own.
if you were playing the first game with somebody that was dramatically higher or lower level than you,
Then it was up to them
you-
to
like-
stay back.
yeah, I
out.
mean, you were a tourist basically.
It's easy to see that it's an incredibly well-built, well-made game. It's really beautifully polished. It's got an incredible character, great voice acting. There's so much to do and really dive into, like upgrading your character, upgrading weapons, doing different quests. You can go in different directions. It's a hugely
It's
rich
unabashedly
and evolving
silly
game.
too, which
yes,
is nice.
and it has a great sense of humor, great personality. It's just not my cup of tea.
yeah,
But I did enjoy playing with you guys.
we had a bad run last night, that night too. I think you should play a little bit more if you're interested in it all.
I might
and then
continue.
pick it
I
up.
might pick up where we were, do a bit more single player.
Yeah, I kind of feel like you need to play like 3 or 4 hours of single player with that, and then jump in with other people.
But there's a bunch of other stuff I want to play as well. God, I've installed so much stuff lately. I need to figure out what I'm even going to play next. But I've got a bunch of other things I want to play.
Have you played Super Hexagon?
No, I heard it's good.
It's real good. You should buy it on iOS. It's like 99 cents.
Okay.
It's the kind of game that you just keep doing over and over again until you have a good run.
I installed Max Payne 3, but I don't know if I want to play that or not.
It's okay.
Is it good?
I thought it's not a Max Payne game, but it's good.
All right, I'll check that out.
Yeah, you
And
can't.
I've got some other things as well. I still haven't even touched Skyrim. I'm afraid of it.
That's probably the right answer.
Yeah, it
Well,
might
you're
be
gonna dive into Pandaria.
so
Are you
that's
going to
and
play
that's-
that?
Oh yeah, I'm going back in. I'm
How
going
are
to
you
make
going to do that with a kid?
I'll find a way. What the baby now is on kind of a fairly predictable sleep schedule that once you get her down at around 8 o'clock and she's
Yeah.
asleep, she's out for the night.
Till 4.
Yeah, until 4 or 5 in the morning. So then in the late evening we can actually play games or
Okay.
watch movies or whatever.
Okay.
So it's becoming a bit more organized.
Okay. I can see that.
So that's how I've been able to play these games recently.
That's
And
good.
I'm excited about Pandaria. I've got a collector's edition coming, and I'm going to make a panda monk and level that. I haven't played Warcraft in ages. I'm looking forward to it.
The last time I played Warcraft was Burning Crusade time, I think. And
Yeah, I got Cataclysm and never really played it, so
yeah.
I never did any of the level 70 content. And I kind of feel like going back. I never really enjoy leveling new characters because I feel like I'm doing all the quests and missions and things I've done before. But because I haven't played Cataclysm, the world has been pretty fundamentally remade.
Yeah, I kind of
I feel like even the act of leveling a new character from 1 up is going to feel different.
I kind of wouldn't mind going back and revisiting. 'Cause
And they
I
always have those
loved-
brilliant starting zones for the new races as well.
And just the kind of sense of the thing that they do better than anybody else is the world building aspect, where you kind of go around.
Yeah.
And there's so much to discover.
Yeah.
Just even like silly stuff
Yeah.
that shows up on flight paths and stuff like
And
that.
I got a couple of nice little, bite-sized games that are fun to pick up for 10 minutes. Like Rock Band Blitz is great.
It's fantastic.
I picked up the Plants vs Zombies table for Zen Pinball 2, which is really
Is that
fun.
out on Xbox yet, or is it only
Yeah,
PS3 so
it's
far?
on Xbox Live.
Okay.
So that's fun as well. So yeah, it's a lot. I mean, I'm more than anything, really feel like I'm really enjoying PC gaming again, more than I have in a long time. And I think it's because I put it back on my desk.
Oh,
And-
you think it's not in the living room anymore?
Well, again, I love Steam Big Picture mode. That was really cool. And I love the idea of playing games on a massive screen. With a joypad, it's great. But for those many games, like I can't ever imagine playing SimCity like that in my armchair. I still like that old
Keyboard and mouse
school
isn't
lean
good
forward at my
in the
desk
living
experience.
room. Yeah,
I'm really excited about SimCity.
I cannot wait for SimCity.
When do we know when that's
I
coming
think
out?
it's November.
Yeah,
or
I'm going to be
October.
all over that shit. SimCity, man.
Yeah,
Build it. Oh, that feeling you get when you start a new city and you start just putting down the first few little bits and pieces, and your city could
So
be
much
anything.
control.
Did I ever tell you the story about when they were bringing around SimCity 4 to demo the first time, and like it was the release tour, so they were bringing it and they were dropping off code for us.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting in the little demo room at the
Dropping
old
off
office, and yeah, remember that you
Yep.
used to get a disc.
Yep.
I sit in the little demo room, and this was when we were at Max PC still. And I'm there, and it's like Will Wright and some Maxis people, and I can't remember which of the PR. It was one of the Maxis PR people that's always at Maxis. Anyway, we're going through the whole demo, and I said, "Oh my god, I can't wait to go home. I'm just going to play this all weekend long. I'm going to go nuts with it." He's like, "Yeah, that's what we were thinking about. When we spent the last 4 years making this game was so that you could go home and have one really good weekend with it, and then
never play it
I was
again.
like, yeah, and then never play it
Oh,
again."
no,
I was
SimCity
like,
has more
no, you
legs
keep
than
coming
that.
back to it. I play it all the time. I love
Yeah,
it.
I mean,
I still play
I've-
4. I love those games.
I can't remember the last one that I really played, but it was whatever the first one that was like fully isometric. That was the one that I really.
2000.
Yeah, it might have been SimCity 2000. So I haven't played one in a long time, and this new one obviously looks amazing.
4 was
so
great,
I'm
but
very
this one,
excited.
the fact that you can connect all the stuff to this one, it seems like it's gonna be really exciting. So
You know, I always said I would get into Knights of the Old Republic, and I never did. And it seems like I'm not
You
really
never
missing
played
that much.
KOTOR?
No,
The Old
sorry, I mean
Oh,
the MMO.
old- oh.
Sounds like I wasn't really missing much.
yeah,
It sounds like
make
that
some
game-
uninformed speculation. I didn't play it. I have no
Well,
idea.
it sounds like it's struggling.
Well, the doctors left.
The doctors
BioWare.
have left the building. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
so
no longer a doctor in the house.
no.
So I don't know.
Somebody
and
had
now
their
that
apple a
Pandaria is
day.
coming back, I think I'm just going to get sucked back into that.
I've kind of been looking at Guild Wars. I kind of am interested in
No.
that whole thing.
No, really?
I mean, it's the part of the MO that I like, the combat-y stuff without all the other nonsense.
The thing is, I always need context, and like the universe, whatever the fiction is, it just doesn't seem interesting.
I
to
just
me.
don't want to play any game that has a grind. I'm tired of grinding.
They all have them though. To some
I don't have
degree.
time for
MMO.
grinding. Is the
Borderlands is all grind.
That was the most
Yeah, but it's fun. You
disappointing.
get to
That was
shoot
the most
people in the
disappointing thing
face.
for me. I was so ready to get into the Old Republic when I heard that it was BioWare and Star Wars. I'm like, okay, this is going to be the MMO
Yeah.
to finally take the crown from Warcraft. And then I saw the first build of it at PAX or E3 or whatever. It's like, hello there, young Padawan. Go over there and hit 10 Womp Rats on the head, and I will give you a slightly better cloak. I'm like, oh, fuck off. Played this already.
I mean, this is the thing that I don't understand. I don't understand. The problem with MMOs is that when I play a game, I want to feel like the biggest badass in the whole wide world. And you're never going to get that with MMOs because there's always some 14-year-old that's locked up in his basement all the time, just playing the game 20 hours a day.
Yeah.
I want instanced, massively. Hold on, wait, not massively. I want instance persistent worlds that I can have on just with my friends. So that instead of being like the biggest badass in the world, it's like Thor and his posse from the Marvel movies. Like he has a whole team of dudes that go around and beat Frost Giant ass when they want to have fun. That's what I want in a video game, and I want that world to always be on so I can just log on, play some single player if I
Yeah,
want.
but then you're just going to
or
have a fight
multiplayer
about
if I
like, who
don't.
gets to be Thor and who has to be the Asian dude.
Dude. That is one way to look at it. I don't think you'd make it a Thor game. I think you'd just be generic badasses.
No, I like the idea. I think Thor and his buddies going out
Thor
on a
and-
Saturday
and
night to
pals.
I
fight
bet
Frost
there are
Giants.
games who do that.
Yeah,
Maybe.
there's got to be games like that,
Yeah.
surely.
There's no persistent multiplayer stuff. That's like
Run a
like,
server.
I
You wanna
would
run a server?
I would run a small scale. Like Freelancer was like this. You could
Yes,
run a
of course.
freelancer server. Everybody could join in. Everybody could drop out,
Yep.
and you could go do shit together if you wanted. The place that game broke down was that it was all single playery stuff, and there was no kind of higher level hard stuff if you had.
I've kind of looked at
people.
EVE Online over the years because I don't know if this is. I'm very scared of EVE Online.
Yeah,
'cause
it's
so-
terrifying.
but I really would like a good MMO that's like a really great space exploration, galaxy, space trading, mercenary, elite
Yeah,
type game.
you'd have to secede your life in order to
I'm totally willing
play
to do
EVE
that.
Online. Okay, well, there you go. You
I
invest some
can't.
kroner.
I can't really do that. But no, EVE Online looks really scary to me. It's one of those games that just seems like it has a very high
I love the
barrier to
idea.
entry.
I love the idea that Eve is out there. I can't. Somebody said that to me once, and that's exactly it. Like,
Yeah,
I'm never
I love
gonna
that
play
it exists.
Like I would watch the nightly news for the world of Eve Online. If there was a video show that I could log in every night and see what happened in Eve that day,
dude from the
I would
embassy
totally watch
played
that.
EVE Online.
Who?
One of the dudes from the embassy.
Oh, from the Libyan embassy.
Yeah,
Ah.
he was the Eve guy.
Oh, the something awful guy.
I don't know if it was something awful.
It was on anyway. Okay, let's take some questions.
Emails?
Well, but we do the other one.
Email.
'Cause it's, we don't do emails. We do
Emails?
No.
Questions?
Boom. Here is our first question. I didn't screen it, so I apologize in advance if it's bad.
Hello, Tested Men. Jeff Grubb here, and I've got a question. But first, hometown trivia. I went to high school in Westerville, Ohio, which is the nation's self-proclaimed prohibition capital. In 1875, a man tried to open a saloon in the middle of town, but someone set off a keg of gunpowder inside the bar, which blew off its roof. Turns out this wasn't a political protest, but a local college student was sick of his roommate returning to the dorms all wasted, so he set off the explosive. Anyway, my question. We all learned in Contact that TV signals from Earth have been reaching out into space for decades now. But what about the internet? How much of the internet is escaping out into space? Are there similar radio signals carrying cat videos and iPhone rumors off into distant stars?
I don't think so.
No, it's digital versus analog.
Well, it's not even that. It's that the internet's mostly on wires.
That too, but I mean, if you talk about like satellite sending signals, yeah, broadcast is different. Broadcast and networks.
Broadcast is just specific frequencies.
I don't think so, because I think if the
bypass that ionosphere.
internet was being broadcast out into space, we would have been destroyed by some alien race by now that would have seen
No,
the
no,
nature of
our
our
foot-
our
out.
footprint in space is so small.
Yeah, it's a tiny
even
little
radio
sphere.
signals for TV.
But the point I'm making is if aliens were to judge our culture based on what is on the
yes.
internet,
Yes.
they would write us off as despicable and marked for destruction
Yeah,
immediately.
but how many stars are in a 15 light year circle
let's
sphere around
not
us?
let's not get into this.
It's
two.
not.
The answer is two.
Well, no, there's at least 3.
I did
Okay, the
think,
answer is
since
3.
you guys like to talk about highfalutin science stuff these days, I did find it very interesting that NASA is actually working on warp drive.
That's a CNN headline.
Yeah, that story isn't true. I mean,
Well,
it's true, but
they
it's
are
not.
investigating. But we are not having starships anytime.
If you read
Well,
the,
no, I'm not
lifetimes.
expecting this to happen anytime soon, but somewhere in a cubicle at NASA, there is a guy working on this.
of course, somewhere there's a guy with the Lost Ark of the Covenant in a warehouse. All
and
that stuff is
that's
true.
cool also.
The warp drive story we didn't talk about. I left it out intentionally, but the revolution there is that the theoretical energy requirement to make the warp drive work has gone from a mass the size of Jupiter converted to energy using Einstein's famous relativity equation to a mass the size of a small asteroid converted to energy, which is still, by our standards, kind of an infinite amount of energy.
But what's interesting about it to me is that it's not, they're not just calling it warp drive because that's what people know from Star Trek. It's not just some other form of faster than light travel. It is actually the exact
the
kind of warp
theory.
drive they have in Star Trek.
Well,
where
Star Trek
you,
warp drive. Yeah,
you
warp
contract the
space.
space in front of you and expand the space
Yes.
behind you. So that's very cool.
Warps the
You
fabric of
create
space.
a warp bubble,
Yes. Well, no,
a warp field.
it's like a warp tractor. It's like
Yeah.
you're using space as a conveyor
You're
belt.
pulling the space in front of you closer to you and
Yes.
pushing the stuff behind
Pooping
you
it out
farther
the back.
away. So
Yeah.
it's great. I love it.
It's very cool.
Maybe we can actually go to other universes and stuff,
solar systems.
other galaxies. No,
Maybe
not other
galaxies are very far away.
Yeah.
Let's go to Mars.
Mars, let's aim small, man.
Well, Richard Branson,
He wants colonies.
he wants to go to Mars.
Yeah.
I just hope that a ticket to Mars doesn't cost as much as a fucking ticket on one of his trains in England. Holy
How
shit!
much are those?
A London
really
to a London a train fare from London to Manchester
Okay, which is what's the distance?
it's probably about 350 miles.
Drive
something
from
like that.
SF to LA.
Yes, is about $500.
Oh, gee.
Fuck me.
You could fly to New York for cheaper.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
can. Round
Yeah,
trip.
yes.
Thanks, socialized airfare.
Yeah, exactly.
One more question. Hold on. So, did we get a definitive answer? The internet is not really being piped out.
No, we don't have to
No.
worry about that.
No.
No, because the only reason the TV stuff got piped out is because it's being broadcast at specific
Into
frequencies
the air.
that
It's
that,
in light.
that can.
It's in waves.
No, it's not in light. It's in
Radio
in radio
waves,
waves, which are
which
a
is light.
form of light. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't bounce off the ionosphere. Is the upshot. The internet. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we
Internet's
cleared
mostly
that
on
up.
tubes. All tubes. Next question is called Memo.
Hey, Test.
Actually, never mind. It's a minute 30 seconds. I'm not going to play
Too
it.
long.
Sorry, dude.
You blew it.
Psych. That'll do it for questions. If you have a question for This Is Only a Test, keep it short, under 45 seconds. You can put it in a format we can read, no WMA files, and make sure you don't sound like you're being dragged behind a bus. And I guess that'll do it for us this week. For Norman Chan. Do we have anything to plug?
Congratulations to all 22 people who mailed letters in. You all got self-addressed.
You haven't
stuff
sent 'em out
envelopes.
yet.
You will get 3 stickers. The address, if you want also to get stickers.
Should we put this at the end of Fake Outtakes?
No, from here, because people who scrolled to the very end.
Uh-huh.
Will
Oh, they'll get
not
screwed.
get it.
That's a good point.
Exactly.
Okay.
Mail to tested-sticker, 790 Brennan Street, 2nd floor. That's very important. 2nd floor in San Francisco, California, 94103. Every sticker you throw in, you will get 1 sticker in return.
Until supplies run out.
Supplies run out. Supplies
Yeah,
are limited.
You know you can go to Walgreens and buy shit like 50 stickers.
Yeah,
for
they have to
$2.
be good
Doesn't count.
stickers.
Good-
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll judge them on podcast.
Artisan stickers.
Okay.
They have to be something Norm would want to stick on his MacBook.
Yeah. Romney Ryan, 2012.
Perfect. And today's outro comes to us from Big Bad Ron. Gary, anything to plug before I play the outro?
No, not this week, but soon.
Okay, good to know. After Earth in theaters, June 7th,
That's not until
2013.
June 7th, starring you.
Will Smith.
Yes.
Yes. I met a guy named Patrick Ewing this weekend and another guy named Chris Martin. We had a lot to talk about.
Wow.
Yeah.
Saddest birthday party ever. Timmy.
Hi there, I didn't see you.
Test it.
Wait for it. Wait for it. And we're done.
Test it.
I don't have any idea what that one was from. We thought about making a Space Jam remake with Chris Martin doing the music and Patrick Ewing and I taking the roles of the
Patrick
Looney
Ewing
Tunes.
and
Well, Patrick Ewing was in Space Jam, the first
Yes.
one.
Will Smith was not.
No, but there were actors in the first one
Like
playing
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray, right? So I could play the Bill Murray role.
Wayne Knight.
Wayne Knight was in there. I guess he
Yeah.
was. He was the
Yeah,
bad
he
guy,
was.
wasn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever seen Space Jam. When I think about it,
Goodness.
I've seen Space Jam.
really, is it good?
Yeah. For what it is.
What else would you put in the good for what it is?
Well, let me
category?
ask you this: do you want to see Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny and the Looney Tunes characters playing basketball against?
I've
space
never
aliens?
wanted anything more than that. In
Then
my
this
life.
is
And
the movie for you.
they introduce a sexy bunny.
There's
To be
what-
a love interest for Bugs Bunny.
there was
there
always a lady bunny,
No, there was
No, but this
not.
one's a real knockout.
real sexy bunny.
Yeah.
Did she talk?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes, and
Who's the
also played
voice?
basketball. I do not know.
I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
investigate.
This is I think it was Michael Jordan's right after his baseball career ended.
I
But
think it was
is
before
referenced
his baseball
because
career.
in the
wasn't
end of
it?
the movie he goes back to playing basketball. His return.
Well, they make fun in the movie of the fact that he's crap at baseball.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's kind of in the middle of that. I
So
think.
I saw Michael Jordan play baseball.
Did you?
Yes, he stole a base.
Oh, that's something.
It's a pretty good game for
It's
him.
more than you could have done.
He was real tall.
Yeah.
That was the other weird thing about him playing baseball. Is he was about a foot taller than everybody else that was out there playing
Well, yeah,
baseball.
because basketball players tend to be taller because the hoop's really high.
It just what does that say that a dude could be the single greatest basketball player of all time? And he's like, I really wanted to play baseball.
It happens.
Well, there are. I mean,
It's
there are
very
athletes
American,
that are double and triple threats. They
What about
succeed in multiple sports.
Bo
Yeah,
Bo
Bo
Jackson,
Jackson.
yeah,
yeah, or
knows?
Deion Sanders, or
yeah.
What did
any
Deion
number of other
Sanders
people.
play?
Football and baseball.
Oh, he played baseball as well.
Yeah.
I did not know that. And now he's on TV commercials with
Really?
Peyton Manning's little brother,
Eli?
Eli.
Or
one who
the
doesn't
other
matter.
one?
Eli.
No, Eli has a Super Bowl ring.
I know he had Super Bowl ring. Yes. 2
And
years ago.
also, he's not
he
broken.
beat the Patriots.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who hasn't?
Well,
Bless
almost.
you. So should we talk about camping?
If we must.
Sure.
This is shame.
So tonight,
This is also I can switch to Verizon. I want you people to know that.
But why not just wait 3 weeks and switch to Verizon when you can just walk into a store?
well,
I
must have it day
don't
one.
don't think I
Because
haven't thought
is
about that.
that is a serious question I've asked myself.
So if it weren't for, and also pay less to switch because it's prorated.
Wes is switching to Verizon.
I mean, the amazing thing
And
that
he got-
I've
he got-
that
Is
he
I've-
getting an iPhone
Have you
too?
seen all these
he ordered
stories?
online midnight.
Have you seen all these stories of
problem.
people that are
Wes is
switching?
dropping Android, really?
Yeah.
It's so fucking hard to keep somebody on staff that will write about Android shit.
No.
Thank you, Ryan Whitlam.
Yeah.
Have you seen all these stories about people that are switching to Verizon because AT&T? It's actually cheaper to pay the early
I'm in that
termination
boat.
fee. Yeah.
It's $213 as of like 2 weeks ago for me to
As
pay the
opposed
early
to paying
term
the
versus paying $250 to get the
$250.
mid-cycle upgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the various upgrade fees
The
that they
$36
throw
fee.
on just
Right.
to fuck you.
Now that'll hit me next year because Verizon doesn't do the mid-cycle upgrades.
No, they don't. And that's another problem for me is because I am mid-cycle upgrade.
So you're
I'm
paying
getting
full price?
hosed on the price for this phone.
$700.
Well, I don't even want to talk about it, but that's one of the reasons why I'm like, do I really need this one? And again, I wish because the S is kind of the one I think you should skip.
So are you going to skip the S next time?
Well, I would need to see what's in it.
NFC.
But-
Yeah, I want-
But
Tap to share.
in
High five.
retrospect, I should have skipped the S and be getting
4S.
getting the 4S and getting the super price on the
So
5.
for me, the only reason I'm not waiting 3 weeks is that so that when we're in New York next week and we have a once a year opportunity to go to New York and test phones there and see what everybody bitches about all the time, having a Verizon phone and an AT&T phone would actually be quite nice.
Yeah.
So I'll have an AT&T phone.
Yeah.
Right.
You're sticking with AT&T.
Unlimited data.
You,
But-
you mean
but
5
we-
gigs?
yes.
5 gigs.
5
which is better-
gigs of
5
actual
gigs for
data.
$90 a month with I don't need unlimited text. I have 1,000,
When
500
you
texts.
accidentally wander into one of the few places in the country that actually has AT&T LTE coverage, you'll be great. You'll be in
Well,
good shape.
I have a Verizon iPad,
Okay.
so I have LTE on that
All right.
and tethering.
Good talk.
Good stuff. So what's our strategy, Will? We will be going to a non-disclosed Bay Area location.
It's the same one we always go to, just to be
Yeah,
clear.
but we don't want to give it away because I don't want people coming by to troll us with their Samsung Galaxies bumping phones and making us feel inferior. What's
Okay,
up,
I
Will
might
and
stop
Gary?
by with
We're
treats.
just sharing our playlist. Bump.
I might stop by tonight with treats.
Ooh, I like treats.
I
Ooh,
bought
what kind
treats
of, what kind of
yesterday.
treats?
Well,
Scooby
that would be a
snacks?
no,
All right,
not
yeah.
Scooby snacks.
Surprise us.
Yeah,
You know what I
surprises.
like.
Everything.
I don't know. I got some really good treats yesterday.
Very excited about this.
Okay, this is interesting.
Now,
so I have a
the-
lawn chair. I have like a
I
sports chair.
I've also bought a lawn chair.
Mine is not a camping chair. Mine is like a Tennessee football tailgating chair.
By the way,
With a
when
Tennessee
I went to
logo
Big
on it.
Five to buy my lawn chair, I was fascinated by
Wait,
all
let's be clear.
What?
You knew after Friday where you woke up at 4 a.m. where you could not buy online.
Yes.
Pre-order your iPhone.
My
You
mind went
immediately-
into camping planning mode.
And the next day, literally Saturday, you went to Big Five and
No.
bought a lawn chair.
Well, let me clarify. I was at a location where I happened to see a Big Five and thought, oh, while I'm here, maybe I could pick up a chair that might make my camping experience a lot more pleasurable.
All right.
And I got to say, I was fascinated.
How nice is the lawn chair?
It's kind of shitty. It's a cheap one. It was only $10.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those foldy ones.
Yeah.
But it's decent.
Weatherproof.
Better than sitting on the floor.
No one wants to sit on the floor.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. You got to have some preparation.
Can the chair fold out to sleep on?
I don't think so. I think they had one that did that, but it was more money than I wanted to spend
Okay.
because I'm not going to get much use out of it. But by the by, when I was at Big Five, I was fascinated by all the guns.
They sell guns at Big Five.
Oh, yes, they do.
Real guns or
Huge-
rifles or
Well, they had a whole rack of shotguns,
shotguns?
and then they had things like H&K MP5s and things, but they're just like 22
No.
versions of. They were just 20
MP5s?
Yeah, but they were just 22.
Oh,
they
so it
weren't
just
like full
looked
on
like-
9mm.
That's police will count it as
So,
an automatic weapon.
As I was buying
assault
the
weapon.
chair, I said to the guy behind the counter that was ringing me up, I'm just curious, if I wanted to buy a shotgun, like a full-on, like 12-gauge Mossberg, which
Yeah,
they
and
had
this is
behind-
in San Francisco or outside the city.
This was outside the city.
Okay, because there's no gun shops in San Francisco.
I believe that's true.
Yeah.
So I said, what's the licensing requirement? He said, there is no licensing requirement. He said,
Well, it's not an automatic weapon or assault weapon. You don't have to.
a shotgun.
Exactly.
For a handgun or whatever, it's different. But for a shotgun, he said, all you do is give me your ID, fill out a form here in the store, and there's an 11-day period, which I guess is both like a cooling off period and a background check.
Cooling off period because I need to get something right now.
I got something. Why are you buying a gun? You shouldn't buy a
Generally
gun. Gary.
speaking, if you need
That
a
raccoon,
generally
it can't stay in my
if you
garbage
need-
can for 11
I think all
days.
things being equal, if you're in any position where you need a shotgun right this minute, it's probably best that you don't have it right this minute.
Why are you buying guns, Gary?
I wasn't buying one. I was just in the Big Five buying a
shouldn't buy
lawn chair,
guns.
and I was
Yeah,
curious by
hold
all,
on, it's the
I was
story.
looking at all the guns. And the guy was telling me that you don't need a license to own a shotgun. You just fill out a form,
Yeah.
and once they've discovered that you're not a crazy person or a felon,
And you've had time to cool off and think about it.
I had time to calm down
Yep.
and realize that guy at the Genius Bar didn't
So what you
treat
really
me that
need-
badly after all.
What you really need is to max those neutrinos out and anticipate when you're going to get into a fit of anger
Yes.
and when you're going to need, and then go 11
Yes.
days earlier.
Yes. And so,
Or just buy one now so that when you're ready, angry, you're ready.
yeah. And so, I could have bought. I could have one by now, but I decided against
do
it.
they look?
I just bought the lawn chair.
So I could have bought the shotgun. But
I
said
could have bought the shotgun
just to
and
get
the lawn chair and guaranteed myself an iPhone no matter what.
I think that would be frowned upon.
It probably would be.
What are the
but
rules for carrying around a shotgun?
As long as it's in the open display, you can do it wherever you want. As long as it says no
Unloaded,
guns allowed.
unloaded, and
I
open
assume-
display.
No, it doesn't. I didn't say unloaded.
You can have a loaded shotgun walk around San Francisco.
No,
I think
I'm
that would be
pretty
frowned
sure
upon.
you cannot do that.
Well, you can, but the 5.0 is going to hassle you because you know what? They don't like people walking around with loaded shotguns.
or a gun.
It's supposed to be America, man.
Oh my
Not in San Francisco.
That's so
We have a-
terrifying.
San Francisco's not really America.
We have a specific set of rules about firearms here. I didn't bring guns with me when I moved to California.
So I bought the lawn chair, and it was $15 on sale. I could have paid two extra dollars and got one that was Stars and Stripes.
You should have done
Why
that.
did you not do that?
I don't know.
would have I would have sponsored
I
your
feel
patriotism.
stupid about it now. Because what is more American than sitting up all night to pay for a luxury consumer good?
My lawn chair has a gigantic University of Tennessee logo on the back.
Oh, see, I wish I'd have got the American
and it's
one
like
now.
extra wide too and padded.
But-
and I have cup holders on both sides.
Look, people think we're idiots for doing this, and maybe
Is it a
so.
nylon
We
chair?
are
Is it the,
idiots.
is it
But
kind of chair that like
I actually enjoy it. The campouts that I've done in the past, I've enjoyed doing. I've actually enjoyed the experience.
What flavor Kool-Aid are you bringing, Gary?
Well, listen, I'm bringing a cooler, and I'll have things in it.
Ooh,
I'm
that's
going to have my lawn
forethought.
chair. You have a lawn chair.
Yep.
You have sleeping bags as well. You said, right?
I think I can probably swing a sleeping bag for you if assuming I go home between now and when I
the
get
best
the
thing to
line.
do, because your lawn chair does not fold all the way back, is to lean in the lawn chair, put the cooler under your feet, but you're in the sleeping bag the whole time.
Oh, that could be good. Or maybe I'll just bring my Snuggie.
No. It's
Snuggie's
breathable.
not going to be enough.
Not breathable. Snuggie is like the insulate. You need a good thermal.
No, Snuggie's just a fleece blanket.
No, I'll just be warmly dressed. That's fine.
I can bring a tarpaulin if you want.
So I thought about bringing.
Comfortable
Well,
clothes,
this
comfy
is what I'm
clothes.
very glad about. I thought about bringing all my gadgets, but I'm like, how do you keep them powered all through the night? But you have this thing, which is going to be the answer to all our problems.
This is the Goal Zero. It's about 20 pounds of lead acid battery. It's a car battery. I used it to charge to run the third-person camera at Maker Faire.
rig.
Yeah.
And it should be enough to keep us going
So
through
this
the
will
night.
keep all our iPads and MiFis and everything going.
But
all
I was
night.
telling you, Gary, you're not going to be awake the entire night. You're going to sleep for 4 or 5 hours.
Well,
I'm
when
afraid to sleep.
When I've done overnight campouts before, I never slept.
What if I get shivved?
There are other people in line will take
Yeah,
the photos.
people could
But
just pick you up. and
Except
put
they
you at
won't
the
have
back of
iPhone
the
5,
line.
so low light photos will be terrible.
No, we must stay awake.
I'm
Must
afraid.
stay awake.
Like I'm going to go sit outside in the dark with a whole shitload of electronics
Here's
on my person.
Here's
should
the
live stream
problem.
the whole
We
thing.
don't know how early we need to get there because we have not reconned this particular store. For all we know, there's 100 people in line already. I'm
At
telling
which
you, this
point
one's
you
going
don't
to be
wanna-
bad.
You don't want to be. You don't want to be in the first. You want to be in the first 20, first 30 people.
No, you want to be as close as possible, but like
The store opened at 8, but they take a long time to get people in.
usually when the Apple people come out at like 8 in the morning and say, everyone past this point, sorry, you're not getting a phone. A few hundred people into the line. So
They haven't done that for the last 3 phones though. Like on iPhone 4 and 4S day, both they had phones for everyone that was in line.
Right, you just to wait a long time.
Right.
So what's
only-
what's
the-
the point in getting there super early?
The only point of this is they will sell out at some point during the day.
Yes.
And you want to make sure you get a phone.
And also, I want.
And you don't want to wait
I
a
also
real long
want what I
time.
think is a pretty popular SKU.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
They will run out of excuses.
Because you don't want a white phone.
Now we should talk about Scuffgate.
Don't call anything something gate. Please.
More reason to
Gary.
call that.
Gary Gate.
It was the choice,
Norm
as you know.
Gate.
Last year, I agonized like a big wuss about the black versus white. I ordered black.
So much has changed.
Worried that I should have got white, and then realized black was right after all. But I went through a very angsty.
So
period there
much
for a
has
while.
changed.
This
You're a new
year-
man.
This year, the black. When I saw the black one, I'm like, oh, clearly it's black. Look
Yeah,
at this thing.
clearly.
It's so black. How much more black could this thing be? And the answer is none more black.
What the fuck are you talking about?
What?
What
It was
What
so-
are we doing?
it was
We're
so-
talking about the new.
What
the
are
new-
we doing with our lives?
I mean, come on. We could be doing things that are really productive. We could be doing something. We could be like handing out food or something at like a homeless shelter.
Making art.
Instead, we choose to do this.
Think about all the productive stuff. I think we should wave off the whole thing.
You don't
And do what instead? Sleep?
Well, so Saturday night I'm getting on a red eye to go to New York.
Perfect.
No.
Sleep on that. Sleep all day. Well, you can't sleep all day Friday.
No.
Pack for the office.
Right. I can't sleep all day Saturday either because I got to pack for myself and do laundry and shit. And I'm not gonna be able to sleep all day Sunday because we have to walk around New York like hobos with our bags. So we don't have a place to put them until 2:00. We get there at 7.
Are you doing it or not?
Will's gonna do it. Don't worry about it.
If you don't do it, the whole thing falls apart. 'Cause I
don't
do it on my
worry
own.
about it. Don't worry about it. He's gonna do it.
You're going to do it.
He's gonna do it.
The,
Don't worry
but the
about
thing
it.
is, we
This is
need
peer pressure.
We
at work,
need
people.
intel. We need a recon of the
Well, it's a
store.
little too late. This is
We should go to the Los Gatos one and camp out with Woz. That would make
It's
it
way
cool.
too far.
oh, I would have seen. I regret now.
When I went
Not
to the Los
going,
Gatos store, like,
yes.
I know I said to you, "Do you want to come with me? I'm going to go
Oh.
meet Woz," and you were like, "No, I
Oh.
can't do it," and you regretted it. 'Cause
But
it
you
was
can go
great.
meet him this
Girls,
time.
God damn it!
You can go meet him this time.
Go this
dude.
time. I'm sure
yeah,
he'd be there
'cause,
again.
like,
He's
you
there
don't-
every
I'm
time.
getting it mailed to me.
What?
but you can just go meet him.
Yeah, I already had the phone being mailed to me. I just went to meet Woz, and I was so glad that I did.
That's a trip. There's a pink bear in the city now.
Holy shit!
At least I get to go to Stonestown
So
Mall
listen,
today. That place smells
this-
pretty
this-
good. I like the waffle cone smell. I think that's my fave smell. That's Adeptus.
This is
on
how
Twitter.
the situation has continued to devolve. Will originally said, "I'm going to recce the store at midnight, and if there's not a line, we'll just go back at 4 a.m." Now we've started saying
Well,
we should
hold on.
probably go there at midnight, and now we've started saying, well, maybe that's not early enough. Maybe we should go immediately after
Yeah.
work. But come on, that's crazy.
That's the crazy part. Chevy's has closed its Stonestown location.
What?
Oh my god.
Oh no more tableside guacamole.
Stonestown Apple Store got me waiting hella long, says Tsunami.
Oh, you.
I think he's probably trying to buy something now.
All right. So the undisclosed location.
We know someone
Oh.
who works there.
Yeah, good job on that one.
We know
Oh, we
Kenny.
do know Kenny.
Kenny who
I
works
know a
at the
bunch of people who work
Stonestown.
there actually now.
You tweet him right now.
Tweet him.
I
Tweet
bet he's
Kenny.
working there right now.
I'm sure he's not working tomorrow.
It's all hands.
The
Twitter.
problem is, unlike a regular Apple store, you can't just look out and see what the line looks
No,
like. 'Cause
it's
the
a
line is in
mall.
a separate location outside.
Yeah, it's
Anyway.
outside the mall.
Right. So now we're going to get trolled by fucking.
Maybe we won't go to that one. Maybe we'll go to the other one instead.
That's the one to go to.
I can bleep it out too.
The good parking lot. It's a good parking lot.
Plus, by the time this is posted, it'll be too late to go out.
Yeah.
Because this won't go up until like 6 o'clock tonight, probably at the earliest.
Yeah. So people only have 6 hours to respond. Yeah, you're right.
Fair enough.
So that, look, for me, people like to laugh at people like me that will get in line for these phones. But
They sure do.
for me, I enjoy it. It's fun. It's something to do. It gets me out of the house.
I don't see Apple
This is what my life
doing
has
a counter
become.
ad where showing the communities that form in their line.
It's
We
kind
should
of a
get the whole.
Portlandia
We should
skit.
try and get the whole line doing like Gangnam Style or something.
That's
To
such
try
a
like,
Oh my
terrible,
god.
terrible
Oh,
idea.
that's worse. No,
why not?
don't perpetuate that.
Why do you
I-
do you
I-
not like it?
I think it's way overplayed.
That's very popular.
Norm thinks everything's overplayed. Hey, Norm, what do you think about lolcats? Played or overplayed?
I like cats. I do not particularly need to see lol.
Norm
cats.
was into K-pop before it became mainstream.
K-pop was so 4 years ago.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, I think we've said all we need to be said. We have power. We have gadgets.
Yeah.
What's this board game you want to play? See, we can make it. It's fun. It's like a camp out.
It requires 5 people, so we would have to make friends.
Can you pitch
we
a
could,
tent?
we could roast marshmallows.
I cannot roast marshmallows.
no,
we're
where are you going to get fire?
Yeah.
We have the old Brooklyn Lantern.
no fire. Cool
Does
to the touch.
I could bring a blowtorch. I do have a blowtorch.
Yeah.
What could possibly go wrong?
Nothing can go wrong with this.
Let's make some s'mores.
Are you
We'll
gonna
find
bring
ways.
any-
We'll
are you
find
gonna
ways
bring any
to make it fun.
self-defense
I'm going to bring my
tools?
Kindle and maybe
Yeah,
read
I'm
a
a
book.
little like I'm a little worried about going there with a bunch of shit and then like going to sleep and waking up.
And
'Cause,
all your
like,
shit is gone.
Waking
Well,
up.
that's
going,
why we have to do it in shifts.
What,
I'll
you-
take
like
first
I'll
watch.
watch Bears and then you. This is such a bad idea. Okay, I'm back in. Why not?
Yay!
Bad
All right,
idea.
but we need.
I'm
but
not
we
bringing
need- but
any
we need to-
electronics.
We do need to.
Just a
We do need
Kindle.
to gather some intel and
Might
get
bring a
some,
3DS.
get some recon on when to go. Oh, I could bring my 3DS.
Yeah, we could. We
There
could.
you
We
go.
could. We could. What's that thing called when you? I did that at PAX.
Street Pass.
Street Pass. That's all I did
There you
at
go.
PAX.
Who needs?
I street
who needs
passed
a
like
Galaxy
crazy.
3? That's just like NS3.
Did you not bring your 3DS to PAX?
No,
Oh, you missed a huge opportunity.
but I don't give a shit about Street Pass.
That's because you've never done it before.
Okay, we'll
It's like
try.
touching
It.
someone
Pretty
in real
awesome.
life.
All right, we'll try it.
It's
What,
much
games,
better than bumping.
what games do we both have that we could play?
All I have is 3D Land and
Mario Kart?
no, New
I
Super
think
Mario
I think I have
Brothers.
some games that will beam it over to you though.
Yeah, I
so
think
we
you can
both
beam
play.
Mario Kart over.
I'll bring over
Picto chat. Picto
I'll
chat.
bring Tetris.
Oh yeah, That's a
Tetris
bad Tetris, but I'll play it.
Why don't we just bring our regular DSs and play games that
I
we
put my
actually
regular
like?
DSs in a box in
okay.
the garage.
All right.
Okay, we'll see you guys next week. And maybe we'll stream some stuff from the line.
Okay,
if
I'm
we feel
hungry.
real dumb. Yeah, I want some
Will
food.
we see them next week?
What?
Oh, I think we probably aren't going to do a podcast next week. Actually,
Are you not bringing podcast equipment to New York?
depends on how many cameras we're going to
What's
bring.
going on in New York?
So we're going to New York for World Maker Fair,
Uh,
and we're going to visit some people. Joey, how many cameras are we bringing to New York? Just one? Okay, so I might bring podcast stuff to New York then.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
just real heavy because I got to bring the tripods. But we'll see you guys next week.